high, deep drive into left field, and this ball is long gone. Safe, he got under the tag.
One hop the wall and it lands for a double.
Want to ride into deep left field, and this ball is gone. Falmouth is going to the Western Division.
Hello and welcome to the pregame show here at Stony Brook Field. I'm Danny LaRose, joined alongside David Korzanowski. We're at the home of the Brewster Whitecaps. Falmouth taking on Brewster for the second time of 4 chances this summer. They have defeated Brewster once already. It was earlier this week, 12-7. Bats really came alive, started a winning streak, and they had put together 4 wins in a row before getting it snapped in yesterday's second game of the doubleheader. Obviously, the offense was great, but David's sleeper on that win streak was the pitching.
Yeah, absolutely, Danny. We've talked about the offense a lot with those double-digit hits. The offense looked really good again yesterday, putting up 3 runs in Game 1, 5 runs in Game 2. But I think the difference has been the lockdown starting pitching. We know that Franco Aleman has been great. We know that Carmen Majinski has been great. But those other guys, Chris Gonzalez, Nick Nastrini, Tyler Ross, and Sam Strickland, really stepped up for the Commodores and allowed them to rattle off 4 straight wins.
Those 4 came through in the big early innings, allowing 1 run between all of them. So each let up 1 run, which is pretty impressive. But also, they're not the ones pitching all 9.
Right.
It's also the bullpen who's locking things down. When the bullpen comes in, you pretty much kind of got a sense of relief that things were looking good for the Doors, and that's something that they really didn't have earlier, and another big pivotal piece of that win streak.
Definitely, and 2 guys I really like are Sean Mullen, 2.70 ERA. He pitched 2 innings yesterday against Chatham and did not allow a run. And then another guy, Thomas Gerard. He's come in twice, an inning each time. The pitcher from Duke University has looked lights out. Michael Landry really getting a hold of his staff, and they're starting to get in the rhythm of things.
So David, surprise, surprise, Katie Florio was able to catch up with the former Sean Mullen to talk about the bullpen's awesome job these past couple of days. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Sean. Now let's turn our heads towards maybe a potential new win streak starter playing Brewster yet again. So Falmouth trying to stay above 500. They're a game above, and with a chance against these Whitecaps, who are about in the middle of the Eastern Division. And what are you expecting from the offense? Are they going to be able to keep up that awesome pace?
I think the offense will, because Brewster's pitching has struggled. But what I'm really focusing on is the storyline of the Commodores pitching staff. That's Franco Aleman. He is their #1 starter. He has them starting their rotation. He has yet to allow an earned run on the 2019 summer. He has been locked down. I think a definite all-star if he keeps it rolling.
Franco has 2 wins and only 4 runs in support over 2 appearances. So the offense doesn't even need to be that good for Franco for him to lock down a victory. Obviously, they're going to try to continue their hot pace. They now have 5 straight games of nearly a dozen hits. Yesterday came to an end when they had 9 in a 7-inning game. So still very impressive. First pitch is coming up at 5 p.m. So for Katie Florio, David Korzanowski, I'm Danny LaRose. We'll see you in just a bit.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Hello and welcome to windy Stony Brook Field here in Brewster, Massachusetts. Danny LaRose joined alongside David Korzenowski on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. The Doors just got their 4-game win streak snapped yesterday in Game 2 against Chatham. They split that doubleheader. Brewster, meanwhile, coming off of a victory over the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox by the score of 12-7. We're just about to get underway here in Brewster. And we'll take a look at the pitching matchup, Franco Aleman versus the lefty Matthew Mikulski. And Mikulski will be going up against a similar Falmouth lineup that we have seen over the past couple of games because, hey, they've been red hot.
Yeah, and I really like hitters 1 through 4, all above 300 now on the season as Blake Dunn moved his average up to an even 300 clip. But this is starting to look like a really good Falmouth lineup, especially offensively. Their offensive stats have come alive as of late, and they're hoping to keep it rolling against a Brewster team who it all got started against on July 2nd with a 12-7 win back at Gulf Fuller Field.
So you see it on your screen, the lineup, and mostly the same guys, but a couple of changes here and there. Matt Nelson getting a shot at the designated hitting position. Steven Moretto, who got the game off in Game 2, back out at third base. Austin Maisel getting back-to-back starts, so that's nice to see for a guy who has been pretty much, one of the hotter hitters, even in this red-hot lineup. And, of course, the mainstay Hayden Cantrell, who walks up to the dish right now. 5 p.m. on the dot here in Massachusetts, and we are ready to get underway. Cantrell, the switch hitter, batting from the right side against the lefty Mikulski.
Mikulski with a .79 ERA this summer. How about that? Making his 3rd start. He's given up just 1 earned run in 11 1/3 innings.
The first pitch from the lefty is taken up and away at 5:01 p.m. Umpires for you: home plate Joe Caraco, first base Jeff Brazel, third base Jamie Klump. Partly cloudy and pretty windy here in Brewster. Cantrell checks his swing, goes right back to Mikulski as he'll make the jog and underhand flip over to first base for the first out of the inning.
Check swing from Cantrell. He thought that was going to go foul. A little bit of an extra beat before he busted out of the batter's box. Switch hitter who was batting righty against the lefty Mikulski. And a tough way to go down in the first AB on just 2 pitches.
So here is another right-hander in Blake Dunn, the Western Michigan Bronco. First pitch he sees is a fastball taken up and away. Dunn, in yesterday's Game 2, had an RBI single, scored 2 runs in the 6th. Before then, he was 0 for 3. The 1-0 he takes below the knees, gets ahead 2-0.
Yeah, Dunn's been hitting extremely well as of late. 7 for his last 16 at the plate. It's been lethal on the base paths as well. Once he gets to first, he can be tough.
Here's the 2-0. Fastball just below the knees yet again. Gets ahead 3-0. And this is the team leader in walks with 14, looking to make it 15. The 3-0 from Mikulski. Upstairs, ball 4. How about that? After Mikulski gets a very quick out number 1, he walks Dunn on only 4 pitches. Falmouth does that very well. Another thing they do well is run, and Blake Dunn has plenty of speed.
Yeah, he had 2 stolen bases in back-to-back games against Cotuit on the 3rd and the 4th. This is a Falmouth team with a stolen base or more in every game this summer. And Danny, they were really picking on Justin Vogt in that matchup against the Whitecaps a few nights ago. I expect to see Dunn going in this AB.
Zach DeLoach will come up to the plate. Runner on first and 1 out. First pitch, fastball taken up and in. Now 5 straight balls delivered by Mikulski. This one coming to the hero in yesterday's Game 1. Hit the walk-off through the hole on the right side of the infield, an RBI single that scored Cantrell in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, that was a fun game. We saw a couple great games between Chatham and Falmouth yesterday, both 1 run.
1-0, sits way high. 2-0.
Mikulski having trouble finding the zone right now, and Vogt's going to come out to talk to him. It's a guy who only issued 7 walks coming into this matchup to his 16 strikeouts.
Mikulski, the Fordham Ram. Had 14 starts this past year with Fordham, 6-6 record. Only walked 41 over 82 innings of work and 89 strikeouts, so definitely not a wild guy.
No, not at all. And he was on a temporary contract as well, but because he pitched so well in the early couple games against Katuitt and Harwich, he has stayed around into early July.
He deserves it. .79 ERA through 11 1/3 innings pitched is pretty incredible. 2-0 the count to Zach DeLoach from Texas A&M. Mikulski with a long look, comes home. Foul ball away over the third base dugout.
That was a fastball exactly where Mikulski wanted it, about knee-high to DeLoach. Took a swing at it, but just trying to time up Mikulski right now are the Commodores.
Commodores were all over Brewster their first meeting, won 12-7 and scored 12 runs on 19 hits. It was a really long and just powerful game for both sides. Dunn is running on 2-1. DeLoach is swinging. It was a designed hit and run that he fouls back to the fence.
Great jump from Dunn. That's to head back to first base, but he has so much speed. Falmouth with 38 stolen bases as a team. That's the most in the Cape League.
Zach DeLoach had a 7-game hitting streak snapped yesterday in Game 2. His first time against Brewster, 3 for 3, 3 runs and a double. His hitting streak was at its peak against the Whitecaps. Count even 2-2. Mikulski comes home. He throws a breaking ball. It skips in the dirt, and awkward spill by Auerbach behind the plate, but he still holds on to the baseball, so Dunn is going to have to stay put.
Yeah, some friendly chirps from some of the Brewster infielders. Tyler Hardman smiling and offering some encouragement for Vogt behind the plate.
Yeah, pardon me. That's Vogt, not Auerbach. I get confused because they're carrying 5 catchers.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's the most we've seen for any team in the Cape League.
So full count now to Zach DeLoach. Dunn is running. Pitch is on the inside corner, strike 3 called, and Dunn's going to take second base standing up after a poor throw. DeLoach doesn't like the call. Looked maybe a little bit low, but he's down anyway.
Close pitch from DeLoach. Not a close throw from Vogt. It was kind of behind second base, more towards short. Good stop by Gage Workman to prevent that from going into center field. Could have been an extra base for Dunn.
Dunn didn't get the best of jumps, but the throw definitely sealed the deal. So after the looking strikeout, Trey Cruz will be the hitter with a runner on second and 2 outs here in the first. Falmouth looking to tack on an early run and give Franco Aleman something to work with. First pitch, fastball, just a bit outside.
Cruz turning 21 years old yesterday. 5-game hit streak for the switch hitter from Rice.
He has been red hot ever since his day off. I think June 30th or July 1st in that neighborhood. Here's the 1-0. Gets under it, pops it up on the infield. Charging in is Workman. He is called off over at third base, and the catch is made for out number 3. So that'll do it. Falmouth scores no runs on no hits, no errors for Brewster, and 1 runner left on base. He reached on a walk. We go to the bottom of the first inning. It's 0-0 between the Doors and the Whitecaps.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more. Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonials and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome back to Brewster. Franco Aleman on the hill for Falmouth at Stony Brook Field. And Franco has been electric in his 2 outings for the Doors. Got a win in his second one. His first one, though, was maybe even better because he went 5 innings, allowed only 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 Ks, no runs. His second outing, 6 innings of work, 6 hits, no runs, 4 Ks, got the win against Bourne.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. Best pitcher on Falmouth, and maybe one of the best pitchers in the Cape League. Hasn't allowed an earned run yet this summer. Made 2 starts, got 1 win. And even against Bourne, when he gives up those 6 hits, he was not getting hit very hard.
No,
I mean, it was infield singles. They were splitting the gap between short and third or second and first. He has been absolutely lights out. And the thing is, Danny, he throws strikes. Only 1 free pass this year. He's always in and around the zone, getting ahead in counts early. And that's been the key to his success so far.
So it'll be Aleman versus Ryan Bliss. Ryan Bliss leading off at second base. He's followed by Brett Auerbach, the left fielder. Batting third, Tyler Gentry, the right fielder. TJ Collette in the cleanup spot and DHing. Marcos Costanon is batting fifth and playing third base. Tyler Hardman batting sixth at first. He's followed by Gage Workman, the shortstop. First pitch is a strike down the middle. And then Justin Vogt, the catcher, and Duke Ellis, the center fielder, round out the order for Brewster. Brewster with an impressive win over Yarmouth Dennis yesterday. That's a YD team that was tied for first place in the East. Here's a shot into center field, but Blake Dunn has it lined up. He catches it on a line, and Ryan Bliss is out.
Bliss really impressive at the plate, 257 average, but he makes a lot of contact. He's only struck out 6 times and worked 1 walk in now 36 at-bats, so he puts the ball in play a lot. And you saw even against Aleman's great fastball, especially from a big guy like Aleman to a small guy like Bliss. Put a good swing on it, some good contact, just right on the line.
1 up and 1 down for Franco, and Brett Auerbach will be the hitter, another righty for Brewster. Ball taken low. Falmouth wearing their road blacks, the gray pants. Some of them rocking those stirrups with the black stripe, black hats, and the F with maroon lettering. And Brewster's jerseys, brand new. Here's the 1-0 fastball in the inside corner for a strike. They are opting away from the straight teal, but they've got navy blue socks with a navy blue jersey and white pants. And on that jersey, they've got a gradient, I'm going to call it, of teal mixed with, navy blue to spell out Brewster across the front with white numbers on the back. Here's a ball.
I know a lot of people have been ranting and raving about the jerseys. You included, right? You love them?
They're awesome.
I think they're good. I don't think they're amazing.
I especially like the white trim around the neck and arms. Those are really cool. Get a little white stripe with the turquoise in between, as there's a strike to make it 2-2. I love the gradient of it.
Yeah, gradient was a good word. I don't know how you came up with that
one. When you're using, Photoshop or Word or something, fouls away this breaking ball. I think it's Microsoft Word, and you're working with word art. They say gradient.
Right. So
and
when I look
like the mixed colors.
Right. And when I look at Brewster, like the word Brewster on the jersey, to me it looks like something I would see in like an elementary school PowerPoint.
I could see it.
That's the only thing I have against the jerseys.
Yeah, that could be a definite.
I mean, again, they're not bad. I'm not as in the camp as you and a couple others are.
Yeah. 2-2 from Franco. Fastball clocked over towards short, and that one's going to get between the hole between short and third. Auerbach is on first base. He continues to tear up the Commodores as he's now 1 for 1 in this ball game. And his first time against Falmouth just earlier this past week, he was 3 for 5.
Yeah, and that's exactly the kind of contact that Bourne was getting against Aleman as well. Ground ball that found the gap in between Cruz and Tawa. No chance for either of them on the left side of the infield. But any way you can get on against this guy, you're going to take it.
Here's Tyler Gentry, yet another right-hander. He swings at the first pitch he sees, but is way out ahead of it and chops it foul. Gentry, a sophomore from the University of Alabama, so a teammate of Tyler Ross. Ross was the starter in yesterday's game 1. Didn't get a win because it was a walk-off in the 7th, but he did pitch very well. Gentry, originally from Arlington, Tennessee, stands at 6'2". Swings and misses at that fastball. Franco just reared it past him.
Yeah, fastball about letter high. Gentry put a good swing on it, but just a little bit late.
So quickly 0-2 in favor of the pitcher Aleman, with 1 out and a runner on first here in this scoreless tie. Not a big lead from Auerbach at all as he's jumping around a little bit. Here's the pitch. Ooh. Just misses outside.
Auerbach does have some speed at first base. He is 5 for 7 this summer on stolen base attempts.
Tyler Gentry with 6 RBIs in his last 3 games played. He's going to have to wait for that 1-2 as there's a pickoff move over to first base, not in time.
Moretto playing first base today.
Yeah, I forgot to comment about that. First time at first.
First time at first. Traditionally a third baseman for the Commodores.
Big lead by Auerbach. Aleman comes home. Auerbach running, swing and a miss. Throw down to second from Claunch's knees, and Cantrell couldn't handle it. He dropped it, and it rattled off of the umpire. Probably would have been safe anyway. That was a great jump from Auerbach. But Claunch, impressive throw, not even popping.
Yeah, I think he tried to pop, but then couldn't do it quite in time, so he had to throw from his knees. And that would have been really close if Cantrell could squeeze it. But a nice head first slide from Auerbach to swipe second.
So Brewster in the same situation Falmouth was in the top of the first, with a runner on second after a stolen base and 2 outs. TJ Collette is going to be the hitter. He's the designated hitter. Righty-lefty matchup, the first lefty in this Brewster lineup. Fastball sits low, ball 1.
Collette had a great game yesterday. It's 2 for 5 against YD. That broke an 0 for 8 stretch at the plate for the DH.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit. He had 6 Ks in that stretch as well, 2 for his last 9, with 2 of those hits coming against Falmouth. The 1-0. Chopped back off the umpire, 1-1.
And again, Aleman sticking to his MO. He's only fired 4 balls in this half inning, and he's only had 1 2-ball count.
I love the confidence he had when we brought him into the booth a couple days ago after his start. He said, "I don't throw balls."
Right.
He said, "More often than not, I get, strikes that are called balls, not balls that are called strikes." The 1-1, that one is a beauty. Goes off speed and paints the inner black.
Yeah, looked like a curveball, and he's got a tight curveball. We've seen, and there's definitely a range of how high arcing these curveballs can be from these pitchers, but Aleman has a really sharp break that comes late.
He was throwing it perfectly against Bourne his last start. Here he comes with the 1-2, goes back to a breaking ball. It's popped up into right field. That one keeps on going and looks like it settles out of play, but your guess is as good as mine, David.
There's a few away fields that are really tough to tell down one line or the other. I know at Eldridge Park in Orleans, it's tough to tell down the left field line.
Same with Veterans Field.
Veterans Field, it's tough. Here, along with Bourne, along with Harwich, are a couple that come to mind, can be tough to tell down the right field line from our vantage point.
We are broadcasting from right at the bleachers.
Oh, yeah.
Time is now called as Aleman steps off the mound. 1-2 the count. Auerbach on second. He reached on a single. Around him, a flyout and a strikeout to put 2 outs against the Caps. Here's the pitch. At the knees, but maybe just a little bit too below them, as that was a close pitch.
Yeah, another close pitch. A good take by Collette.
Collette, a former 40th round draft pick by the Minnesota Twins. Led Kentucky with hits, home runs, and RBIs this past summer, but he strikes out right here. Pitch in the dirt, tag applied by Troy Clonch, and that'll do it. A swinging strikeout caps off the final 2 outs of the first inning, and we head to the top of the second after no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner gets stranded to keep us scoreless in Brewster.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Welcome back to Brewster. 4, 5, and 6 we go for the Doors against Matt Mikulski, who got into a little bit of trouble, left a guy on second base in scoring position, but got out of it. Leading off will be Troy Clonch. He's followed by Matt Nelson and then Tim Tawa. Clonch from Oregon State. Designated hitting, as we've seen him in 3 different positions over the last 3 games. Went from first base, then to catcher, now DHing. Traditional catcher for Oregon State, but did a lot of designated hitting in the spring because he was playing behind the eventual first overall pick, Adley Rutschman. Righty-lefty matchup. The pitch from the lefty, Mikulski, taken upstairs for a ball.
So I got a broadcasting question for you.
Go for it.
When it's batter-hitter, like what order do you say for righty-lefty matchup? Do you do batter
that's good.
first?
I don't think I've ever thought about it.
I think I usually do pitcher first, but I haven't known the answer.
The 1-0 is fouled back. I always think of it as, I would never say lefty-righty just because it does not roll off the tongue well. Okay. So I always say righty-lefty, and regardless of whether it's batter or hitter.
Got it. That might be a question I have to run by the higher-ups, see if there's a correct way of doing it.
1-1 now the count to Clonch. He takes a fastball up into the air, and it stays on the infield. Called for by Ryan Bliss. He squeezes, and that's the first out of the inning.
Well, we've got what we sort of expected so far. Despite the hot bats for both teams, these are their best pitchers in Mikulski and Aleman. Mikulski ran into a little bit of trouble in the top of the first. He fired 6 straight balls, then settled in and struck out Deloach, which was the turning point in that top of the first inning.
Here's the first pitch to Matt Nelson, a righty. Shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a ball. Matt Mikulski and Franco Aleman are kind of like mirror images of each other pitching-wise. They have very similar movement, it looks like to me. Just one's a righty, one's a lefty. Mikulski not quite with the height. He's at 6'2". Aleman is at 6 foot ridiculous. The 1-0, another fake bunt from Nelson and another ball.
Aleman really is a big guy. I mean, sometimes we don't really realize it when he's in the booth with us and he's sitting next to us. But I'm looking up at him whenever I'm talking to him.
Yeah. He takes up like half the table.
Right.
The 2-0. Shows bunt again. This time it's a fastball that clips the knees, and Nelson didn't like the call. As looks like the low zone is kind of going back and forth. Nelson starting off his summer 0 for 6, still trying to adjust to that wooden bat. Only his 3rd game played. 2-1. Another good pitch. That's a fastball about belt high.
That one he definitely knew was a strike. There was no body language from him after that. Settles back in.
So quickly it's become 2-2. Mikulski evening up the count. Got into a lot of deep counts so far, but fought back in all of them. Here's the pitch. Downstairs, ball 3.
Saw a full count to Zach Deloach, and that payoff pitch was money. Right at the knees and got the 3-hitter, one of the hottest bats on the team looking.
Full count now to Matt Nelson. Here's the pitch. Downstairs, ball 4. Great eye from Nelson, as those last two were pretty close, but definitely below the knees, and he is walked.
So 2 walks now for Mikulski. He's missing the zone by just a little bit, at least here in this half inning. In the first, he was missing upstairs. The off speed wasn't firing as well as it is now.
Tim Tawa with a chance to, at the very least, advance Matt Nelson. Tawa playing third base this evening from Stanford. First, there's going to be a check on Nelson as he hesitates diving back into the bag. Gets there safely, but I don't know what happened there. Maybe he got caught in the dirt or just didn't realize.
Yeah, Nelson's only been on base now 2 times this summer. He walked once earlier this week.
Now Mikulski comes home. Tawa this time shows bunt. He takes it back, but it's a called strike. So Nelson showed bunt on the first 2 pitches he saw. Tawa shows bunt on his first.
Yeah, I wonder if that's just what these hitters are trying to do to rattle Mikulski.
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe they're trying to bunt for a hit.
0-1 this time he doesn't show, and again, it's a strike this time on the inside corner. Mikulski, like Aleman, peppering the strikes, the zone with strikes.
Yeah, absolutely. Tawa 3 for his last 7 at the plate. He's been swinging a much hotter bat.
Here's the 0-2. Swings at that high fastball, pops it up towards the right side. Bliss is calling for it in right center field, and it's going to drop right beyond his glove. Nelson didn't get a good jump. The throw down to second gets him in time. That's one of those where there's nothing really Matt Nelson can do.
Right.
As it was about 10 feet onto the outfield grass. He only took a couple steps off the first base bag so he wouldn't get doubled up. Bliss dropped it, but it still is an out at second.
Yeah, weird play, and as you said, not much Nelson can do there. Because if he stands in between first and second, right in the middle of those 2 bags, he's probably going to get picked off at first.
Yeah.
Or doubled up at first, I should say, if he makes the catch. So he can't go too far away from the bag. Then it drops, then he has a long way to run. It's out by a mile.
And it was in such shallow right. Here's a pickoff move. Tawa was running on the pitch, and he goes right to second base, but is tagged out. Tim Tawa completely fooled by Mikulski's pickoff move, and Steven Moretto, who has to walk back to the dugout without ever facing a pitch. We will head to the bottom of the second inning after Falmouth makes 2 mistakes, or I guess 1 mistake on the base paths, but 2 quirky plays on the base paths to end the inning. It's still 0-0.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentration.
Marcos Castanon is going to lead off at the bottom of the second inning. Franco Aleman got out of the first, stranding a runner on second base. First pitch he throws to Castanon, swung on and missed. That was a beautiful off-speed pitch, and Castanon was swinging well out of his shoes.
Remember Castanon, the 5-hitter on July 2nd against Falmouth. He went yard in the first inning, put Brewster up 3-0.
That ball misses off the plate. That was his lone hit for the day. Went 1 for 3 with that 3-run bomb. more often than not. You're going to accept that.
Falmouth then scored 12 straight, though. Went up 12-3, ended up winning 12-7.
Here's Franco's 1-1, blown right by Castanon. He's quickly down 1-2. Marcos from UC Santa Barbara, originally from Rialto, California. Hit .324 over only 23 games played this past spring. Right now is working on a 4-game hit streak.
He's got a ton of power. Almost half of his hits are extra base hits.
Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Couple of fastballs up in the zone, and Franco gets his 3rd strikeout in a row, all of them swinging.
Yeah, he's just dealing. I mean, he has been nasty this summer. Looking the same against Brewster.
Number 42, Tyler Hardman.
And Brewster right now at the plate, at least as far as I can tell, is doing everything right. They're swinging early. They're trying to put it in play. We saw Ryan Bliss with a long out to center field. Just can't connect.
Here's Tyler Hardman, right-handed bat for the Whitecaps with a slightly open stance. First pitch from Aleman right down the middle, strike 1. Hardman, when Falmouth faced him just about a week ago, he was ice cold. Since then, he's been red hot. He was 0 for 13 entering the game against Falmouth, and then went 2 for 5. Now he's 6 for his last 13. Here's the 0-1, chopped over towards third, but foul. His average on June 29th, 171. Hardman's average right now, 245.
That'll do it. He is a guy who strikes out a lot, though. 20 strikeouts. That leads the Whitecaps.
He's quickly down 0-2, and Aleman, hey, he's been a strikeout pitcher, especially in this ball game. Taking his time deciding on a pitch with Claunch. Now he's ready, comes home. It's a fastball high, and it's fouled back. And I knew it was going to be a fastball high.
Right.
When you see Franco shake off his catcher, it's because he wants to go to his heater.
No question, Danny, and he's feeling himself right now with those 3 straight strikeouts. I think he wants a 4th.
Plenty of scouts on hand with the video cameras out and the radar guns up, and Franco trying to impress them. Another 0-2. He goes with a slider but misses outside.
Brewster as a whole also strikes out quite a bit. 172 Ks as a team. That's 4th in the Cape League.
19 strikes to only 7 balls for Franco. So he has been hitting the strike zone a lot. A 1-2. Chopped again, foul. Same spot near third base.
We saw that was about the ratio against Bourne as well. It was about 3-1.
And the reason I bring it up was because Mikulski in the second inning, when I looked, he had more balls than strikes thrown. He had 14 balls to 11 strikes at a certain point. So, despite both of the pitchers zooming through these lineups, Mikulski throwing a lot more balls, but getting breaks on the groundouts and flyouts. Franco taking his time again. Rocks and fires from the windup. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. Went with a breaking ball, and he paints the black. It is now 4 straight strikeouts.
Now batting, the shortstop.
And despite being so great this summer, Danny, he hasn't struck out a ton of batters.
Yeah.
Struck out 4 against Bourne, 2 against Chatham. He's already matched his single game high for strikeouts with 4, and it's been against the last 4 batters.
Here is Gage Workman, the lefty, batting .247 on the summer. First pitch to the Arizona State Sun Devil is fouled back off the glove of Troy Claunch.
He was just a little bit under it and a little bit late, but he almost squared that one up. That's the thing about Aleman, because he has so much zip on his fastball, if you put it in play, it's going to be hard hit.
Yeah. Workman, a second-year Whitecap, hit .163 in the summer of 2018. The 0-1 from Aleman. On the inside corner, he continues to throw strike after strike after strike.
And again, you're up 0-2, Danny. Now you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like it's totally Aleman's at bat now to dictate.
His fastball has been a lethal 2-strike pitch this game, as has the slider. We'll see what he goes to here on 0-2. Decides on a pitch, and he'll come home. Went with the heater, but he misses inside. Gage went 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts versus Falmouth the first time these two teams met. The 1-2. lined into center field. Dunn has a read on it, and he will make the grab just a couple of steps over to his right. So a 1-2-3 inning worked by Franco Aleman with 2 Ks in it, and we'll head to the top of the 3rd inning. 0-0 your score.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Top 3rd we go from Stony Brook Field. Danny LaRose and David Korzanowski here on the call on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. And it's 0-0 between the Doors and the Whitecaps. So far, only 1 hit through 2 full innings. That came for Brewster in the 1st inning. So Falmouth with 2 base runners in their 2 innings of work, but no hits.
We're zooming right now. 35 minutes into the game, and we are in the top of the 3rd. That's what happens when you have 2 of the best pitchers in the Cape League going at it. They have made quick work of each batting order.
Yeah, Aleman with a 0 ERA, and Mikulski came in with a .71 ERA. Steven Moretto, who was stranded at home plate back in the 2nd inning. That was when Tim Tawa was picked off of 1st and thrown out at 2nd. Moretto, a righty against Mikulski, the lefty, takes a fastball below the knees. As Mikulski has been rolling through this lineup so far, but he's been throwing a lot of balls early in counts, getting himself behind. Here's the 1-0 from the big lefty. That gets the knees, 1-1.
And right now he's living and dying by that low fastball.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a little low. Sometimes it's getting called for strikes.
Matt with that traditional windup rocks the glove back over his neck and comes home. Moretto gets under that and fouls it away towards the right side. 1-2 the count to the first baseman from Sacramento State. He hasn't gotten an opportunity to show off his first base chops yet. Not even a ground ball yet from Aleman.
True.
And Aleman was giving up only ground balls against Bourne. 2 flyouts so far that Brewster has gotten, otherwise strikeouts. 1-2 is fouled back.
We saw him in warm-ups. Him and Jackson Coots were splitting the time at first base. So he gets the start at first base tonight, which makes me think that Jeff Trundy wants Tim Tawa in the lineup.
Yeah.
As he's been hitting a lot better now, above 200 average on the summer.
Here's the 1-2 from Mikulski. Fastball that misses high. You could put Tawa pretty much at any position, but right now, given the way your outfield is hitting, between Maisel, who's been awesome, Deloach, who has been amazing, and Blake Dunn, who has been, what's another good adjective? So can't put Tawa in the outfield. 2-2. Fastball that's popped up yet again, this time over near the Falmouth dugout, and that will be out of play.
We've only seen 1 ground ball worked by Mikulski, too.
Yeah, first hitter of the game. It was a check swing.
Right.
Hayden Cantrell checked his swing, came halfway around, but made contact and grounded it right back to the pitcher.
And he'll get another chance in this half inning.
We've seen 3 pop-ups, though. The 2-2, grounded foul.
This is what Moretto does so well.
Yeah.
When a pitcher's firing and he's in and around the strike zone, Moretto spoils a lot of pitches, works long at bats, can be really pesky, and can crack the code against these guys.
He's like the agent you go to
Right.
who's not going to get the glory, but he does the dirty work.
Absolutely.
Doing the dirty work right now against Mikulski, who shakes off his catcher. Comes home with a 2-2 pitch, and he spikes it off the plate. Moretto continues to have such a sharp eye.
This is pitch 9 coming from the lefty Mikulski. And with an at-bat like this, too, you give some of the batters who are on deck and due up a chance to see more from Mikulski to try to change their approach maybe.
Payoff pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. So at the end of the day, Steven Moretto does go down a strikeout victim, but works a quality at bat to lead off the third.
Left fielder from the College of the Holy Cross.
Second K of the afternoon for Mikulski. The first was to Deloach with a fastball at the knees. Got Deloach looking. That one was a fastball up that Moretto went after.
Now it'll be Austin Maisel. Left-handed bat from Holy Cross. First pitch he sees is, again, off the plate. Mikulski throwing a lot of balls. That's now 18 strikes to 18 balls.
And this is now just the second lefty in the lineup, so pretty righty-heavy against the lefty Mikulski.
The 1-0, just below the knees. Maisel with a good eye to make it 2-0. Austin from Stoneham, Mass. 7 for his last 11. He's been reaching base at just an insane rate. Mikulski's 2-0. That one gets the outside corner and hits the knees.
Yeah, when your batting average is at 480, your on-base percentage is probably going to be pretty good, too.
He does know how to walk, and he's got speed, so it helps. 2-1, grounded over towards second base. Ryan Bliss fields it, throws it on to first, and that's out number 2 on the third inning.
Bliss has had a couple plays over at second base. He looks really sure-handed in the field.
Yeah.
Saw with the Auburn Tigers, he was their everyday second baseman on a team that went to Omaha.
Yeah, he played in every single game and started in every single game as a freshman.
As a freshman, yeah, exactly. That's what I was just about to say. And he moved a 2018 Falmouth Commodore, Eddie Julian, across the diamond to third base because of how good he was at second.
Here's Hayden Cantrell, who grounded out his first time up, swings at this first pitch and comes up empty. It is so rare that you see Omaha-bound teams like Auburn. And granted, they weren't, top 10 throughout most of the year. They kind of were a dark horse that came on. 0-1 to Hayden is taken for a strikeout too. But the fact that, they had a freshman starting at second base the whole time is very impressive because most of those teams, UCLA, Louisville, they mostly juniors and seniors. Mikulski quickly 0-2 against Cantrell, trying to work his first 1-2-3 inning of the evening. Here's the pitch. Fastball down low.
It's also so impressive because he's a little guy, too. I mean, this guy, Ryan Bliss, who's at second, is an absolute grinder. Leadoff man for the Whitecaps, batted towards the top of the order with Auburn. 5'9", 165. That's about our size, honestly.
One-two pitch is shot towards the right side and foul. Hayden Cantrell, who is kind of like a Ryan Bliss, maybe has an inch on him and maybe 10 or 15 pounds, but he's a grinder, he's a workhorse, plays every single day in the spring and in the summer. A lot of guys ask for days off, and he does not. Right now behind 1-2 on Mikulski, and he's going to call for time because the pitcher just was taking too much.
Interesting. Mikulski didn't even move a muscle when Cantrell called time. He just stayed locked in that windup.
The 1-2. Swung on and missed. It's in the dirt. Hayden's going to try to run down to first base. The throw comes in well ahead on time. And that is a 1-2-3 inning worked by Matthew Mikulski. Both pitchers, are firing on all cylinders. As now we'll head out for the bottom of the third, and Aleman will try to back it up. 0-0 score here in Brewster.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports.
To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more. The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Justin Vogt, the catcher, is going to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. No, the bottom of the third inning. 1-2-3 inning worked in the second by Aleman as he shows bunt, tries to get a hit, but fouls it off of Nelson. So how about that? Catchers wouldn't think that they have too much speed, but one is trying to bunt for a hit to lead off the inning.
Again, they're just trying to get on base any way they can. Brewster has had just one base runner. Falmouth has had 3.
0-1 the count. Aleman from the windup on the first base side of the rubber. Comes home with the 0-1, a breaking ball that loops in perfectly over the inside corner and at the belt. He is looking sharp with that off-speed pitch yet again. Here's the 0-2. He goes back with a fastball, but puts it too high above the eyes of Vogt.
Vogt went 1 for 3 against Falmouth on July 2nd. He had a home run in, was it the 7th or the 8th?
He shoots this one out to left center field. That won't be a home run. It's too shallow. Blake Dunn can't make the grab as he just totally misreads it, and it drops about 5 feet in front of the fence. Dunn was lined up over it. All of a sudden, the wind took hold of it. That wind is blasting out towards right center field, and it looked like it kind of just made a last-second movement, and Dunn couldn't catch it.
Yeah, I'm going to say, Danny, I don't think he did misread it. I think it is the wind, because we saw it with that pop fly over on the right side to Bliss in the top half of the second inning. The wind is absolutely whipping here. That flag out in right center field is flying. And we've felt the wind here just at ground level on the third base side. I can only imagine what it's like about 50 to 100 feet in the air.
So that will be ruled a double for Vogt, who reaches second base on a very quirky double that probably would have been an out most other days. So now Duke Ellis, the 9-hitter, will have a chance with a runner in scoring position and nobody out. Duke making his first appearance on the Cape. Left-handed bat from the University of Texas. First, he's going to have to wait because Vogt gets looked back by Aleman.
Ellis, a rising senior with the Longhorns, batted .266 during his junior campaign. 70 hits, 7 doubles, 15 RBIs. Last summer, he was in Katuitt.
First pitch he sees is an inside fastball, ball 1.
And he had a pretty good summer with the Kettleers. .279 average, 24 hits, 10 stolen bases.
He had 17 stolen bases with Texas this past year. It was a perfect 17 for 17 to lead the team. The 1-0 from Aleman, fastball for a strike at the knees. Duke played his freshman year at Panola College at JUCO. He hit .415 there with 4 home runs, 5 triples, 17 doubles, 21 stolen bases. So Texas just ate him up immediately.
Well, yeah.
The 1-1 is fouled.
I was just going to say, that's when you transfer to the Power 5, is when you're at a JUCO and you put up plus 400 average.
And, you know, no offense to any, like, Big Ten teams, but it's not like a Maryland or anything like that.
Sure.
It's the winningest, program, one of the winningest programs of all time in Texas. So they were thoroughly impressed. And then he went on to be first team All Big 12 the very first year he played for the Longhorns. Trying to get a hit in his very first at-bat for Brewster this summer. If he does, it would probably score Vogt, who's standing on second base, who's got a little bit of speed for a catcher. Aleman looking for a big strikeout ahead 1-2. Comes home. Ground ball left side. Cruz fields it on a backhand. He's going to go to third, and that is a easy out at third base. Vogt, for some reason, was running on contact, and he is easily put out on the 6-5 putout that you rarely see.
You do rarely see that, Danny, and just a great choice by Trey Cruz, and maybe not the most well-advised play from Justin Vogt. As you said, he was running on contact, took that secondary lead, and then just kept dashing towards third. Saw a similar play yesterday with Falmouth defensively, and Tim Tawa opted not to go for the tag at third base, threw it across the diamond, and it ended up working out in his favor. But here you get the lead runner, so now 1 out and a man on first.
And that's an easier throw for Cruz. All that, the moving part on it is just that you have to apply the tag. And
right.
Vogt slid right into the glove of Tawa. As Bliss shows bunt and pulls it back, takes a strike. Ryan flew out to center field his first time up. Came into tonight batting .257 on the summer. His first game was on June 26th. Auburn got knocked out on June 18th, so that's kind of a quick turnaround to show up to the Cape. A grinder like you were saying last inning. Here's a pickoff move over to first, and that one was close. Ellis got back in time, but he was taking a huge lead, kind of reacted late, but his 6'2" wiry frame was able to tag the bag in time. Still taking a big lead, and Aleman looking in towards home. Now he looks back at first and comes set with the glove right at the letters. Comes home, ground ball left side. This could be two. Cruz fields it on a couple quirky hops, and he has to eat it. As it took that second odd hop, took Cruz off balance, and Bliss with enough speed to beat it out without a throw.
Yeah, that's a ruled a single from Ryan Bliss, and you hit on it, Danny, just that speed from Bliss. By the time that Cruz had looked to second, realized that he didn't have the lead runner in Duke Ellis, and he decided to go to first, it was too late. He knew that if he threw that ball, he would just be risking a wild throw because Bliss was only a few feet away from the bag.
Brett Auerbach will be the hitter with 1 out and runners on first and second in this 0-0 game. Auerbach 1 for 1. He had a single in the first and was stranded on second. He now has hits in 4 of his last 5. 2 of those games were multi-hit outings. Takes a ball upstairs, so he's got a golden opportunity to now have 3 multi-hit outings in his last 5 games because he's already 1 for 1, and it's only the third.
Yeah, and Aleman with 1 out and 2 runners on. He hasn't made too many mistakes. I mean, Vogt reached on a double on a windy ball out in center field, and then an infield hit to short from Bliss.
The 1-0, that one is popped up on the infield and foul ground. Steven Moretto has it for out number 2. So again, Aleman not making mistakes, and this time his fielders bail him out.
Yeah, that's a big out there because now with 2 down, you can go to any base except home. Don't have to worry about trying to turn a double play.
Number 28, Tyler Gentry.
Tyler Gentry is going to be the hitter. 0 for 1, struck out swinging in the first. Brewster with no runs and 3 hits. Falmouth with no runs on no hits. But 2 of those 3 hits really could have been outs. First pitch is an off-speed, catches the corner, 0-1. Aleman has not lost his touch, even with runners on base.
And still that strike-to-ball ratio about 3-1, 33 strikes and 11 balls.
Gentry, who hit .310 this past spring with Bama. 13 home runs as well. He's definitely got power. That's why he's in the 3-hole. Watches a fastball miss outside. But that, a .552 slugging percentage.
Jeez. He had a little hot stretch at the end of June. In 3 games, he was 7 for 9.
He's got 6 RBIs in his last 3 games played and a runner in scoring position right now as he takes another ball down low. These last 2 missing by a lot from Franco.
He's got to lock in. He takes off that glove and takes a stroll around the mound. He was the one who said when you're in a jam, it just forces you to be that much better on the mound.
kind of a I don't know, what's the word? Feudal maxim, just to tell yourself, just be better.
Right.
Swing and a miss, 2-2. Just be better, duh.
Right, right. As if that's easy.
It apparently works out for Franco, though. He's hoping it works right here. He's got Gentry 2-2, trying to strand 2 runners on the base paths. 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. Franco and Clonch agree on a pitch. Looks back the runner at second, and he's going to look him back even more, faking the pickoff. Gentry came into tonight batting .219. Strikeout in the first has brought that down a little bit. So he's looking for a chance to turn his season around. 2-2, Ellis is running. The pitch is a fastball swung on and missed for strike 3. Doesn't matter that both runners were going because Franco gets out of the jam with a huge K. He allows no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and strands 2 men on base. And we go to the 4th inning, all tied up at 0.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonials and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Top of inning number 4, Matt Mikulski back out on the bump. It's 0s across the scoreboard for Falmouth. They have no runs on no hits and no errors. For the Whitecaps, no runs on 3 hits and no flubs in the field for the home team either. It's going to be 2, 3, and 4 due up for the doors here in the top of the 4th. Blake Dunn, Zach DeLoach, and Trey Cruz. Thanks for listening on this beautiful Saturday evening. David Korzenowski joined alongside Danny LaRose in what has been an entertaining game so far. And maybe not because of the offensive fireworks, but because of the great pitching we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first game in about a week where it looks like Falmouth is, again, down for the count a little bit against the starter, as there's a foul ball from Blake Dunn. Obviously, it's only been 3 innings. That script can change, but for the most part, they've been jumping all over pitching that they've seen over the last, 4 or 5 games.
Both bullpens are vacant, as Mikulski and Aleman have been the story so far. The 0-1 to Dunn is an off-speed pitch that settles about belt high for the 2nd strike. Blake Dunn walked his first time up, stole second, and then was left stranded there. The 0-2. Poked over towards 3rd. Dunn on the run. Did he beat it out? Yes, he did. Beat out the throw from Marcos Castanon, and that's the first hit of the day for Falmouth.
Wow. Blake Dunn really blazing speed, and that was about as true to a tie as you can get. It looked like, and it sounded like that the foot hit the bag right as the ball hit the glove of the first baseman Hardman. So pretty much take your pick on who won out on that one. And first base umpire Jeff Merzell chooses Blake Dunn, luckily for Falmouth.
Mikulski knows that his no-hit bid has been spoiled. He shrugs and smiles, settles back in the stretch. Blake Dunn has been the bugaboo as he slides into first safely.
Wow, that is a fantastic pickoff move.
Yeah, Dunn had a little hesitation, didn't know whether to go back or not.
Mikulski was still looking home after he had lifted the leg and then came towards first.
I think that that's the most lethal thing you can do as a pitcher is the no-look pickoff. DeLoach watches a slider miss outside, 1-0.
Although he does kind of tip when he's going home, because when he's going home, he squats a little bit. He gets a little bit lower. When he's going to first, he keeps his body completely upright. So maybe that's something they can look for. But it's tough. You got to kind of look at his backside, and you don't see that from first base.
Fastball over towards second base. Bliss onto Workman. Onto first. It's a wild throw. Deloach will stay at first base. Almost a double play turned by the Whitecaps, but an inaccurate throw from Workman over to Hardman. So now 1 out and a runner on first.
Yeah, probably will go down as an error from Workman because he had Deloach. It would have been a close play, but it still would have been an out. And Zach gets on first base thanks to the fielder's choice. So not ideal, but still better than a double play.
It's not ruled a hit. It's not ruled an error. They say that he reached on just a fielder's choice. Trey Cruz up for the second time today, batting as a righty for the second time. He flew out, or popped out to Castanon to end the first inning. On deck, Troy Clonch was a pop-out victim himself. Mikulski. This will be pitch number 50. Lifts the right leg and delivers. Here's a hard hit ball into left field. There is Auerbach. He makes the catch. Deloach jogs back to first, 2 down.
Great contact off the bat from Trey Cruz, but right at the wrong spot. As the wind is whipping out towards right center field, and you just got to hope that, a lefty can come up with some power and get under one, because then he'll give it for a ride. But to left field, you're not going to get too much help.
The thing is, the wind's been blowing in all different directions, I feel like.
That is another,
Because
I mean, just right now, the flag just went to dead right.
Right. Because when Dunn had that play out in center field, it was blowing sort of behind him and to left field.
Yeah.
Troy Clonch steps in. Pickoff move to first. Deloach doesn't bother sliding. He hops in safely. Mikulski strides back to the mound. He's kind of an intimidating pitcher. I don't know what it is about him, but kind of that stern look on his face.
That pickoff move is like,
yeah,
it's just so lethal, it keeps you in check. That's what's most intimidating.
First pitch to Clonch is outside. Mikulski from Mohegan Lake, New York. 6'2", 185, as my partner mentioned earlier. Had a really solid stretch in the middle of the year against Rhode Island, St. Joe's, and VCU. Gave up just 3 earned runs in 22 innings. The 1-0 skips in the dirt. Nice stop by Vogt to keep Deloach at first.
So Jackson Coots has seen Mikulski before, a Rhode Island Ram himself. But evidently Jeff Trundy said, well, you've seen him, but your team didn't do too well against him, so we'll go with somebody else.
Coots not in the lineup tonight after he played in Game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday. He had a triple.
Yeah. Big boy.
Into deep center field. Here's one that's lifted. Not playable for Vogt. It's going to land right behind our tent. We also know the wind has been whipping because we have a tent that we bring to away games. We pull it out for the away broadcasters during the home games as well to shelter us from the rain, because we've had some bad experiences with the rain on this equipment.
Yeah.
And this tent is just not staying down.
No.
The wind is blowing it all over the place.
Shout out Max Trink for holding it down half this game.
We appreciate it. We need some stakes is what we need. 2-1 will have to wait. Another check. This one a little closer as Deloach, still refusing to slide into first, is safe.
And he had the same hesitation that Dunn did. He kind of looked back the pitcher, saw him coming there, and he still, they know that he's coming to first, and they still kind of hesitate for whatever reason. So, I mean, maybe that's that risky base running that is starting to bite them a little bit.
The 2-1 is spoiled into the screen, 2-2.
The tempo is so staggered from Mikulski with the pickoffs and the throws home and everything. He's taken a while to agree on pitches. He's really diversifying his arsenal right now, mixing up off speed with fastballs really well. And I don't think any of these hitters have been able to get comfortable yet.
Deloach finally slides in. Mikulski doesn't even throw over to first. That's the kind of intimidation I'm talking about, because by the time Deloach had slid in, he was already settled on the mound ready for the next pitch.
He is just playing with these base runners, and we have not seen that yet this season.
2-2, 2 outs. Deloach on first. Lifts and delivers. Deloach is running. Foul ball.
How about that? Falmouth doesn't, back down in the face of intimidation, though. They're still going to try to run on Mikulski, even though he's playing games with them and keeping them really on edge.
Deloach moseys back to first. Taps the bag with Tyler Hardman, wearing those sunglasses at first base. Mikulski dangling the left arm with his glove perched on his chest. He settles in the stretch belt high, moves his right leg in, exhales, waits an extra second, kicks, and delivers. This one over towards short. One hopper for Workman, who will go across to first in time for the final out. One hit for Falmouth. It's their first of the evening. They leave one runner stranded, no runs, and one runner left on base. To the bottom of the fourth we go. You're listening to the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Pace slowing down a little bit here as we enter the bottom of the fourth inning. 1 hour and 5 minutes into the second matchup of the year between the Whitecaps and the Commodores. No score, 4 hits total. Danny, this is the antithesis of their first matchup.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Didn't even think about that, how it was 12-3, for a while, like midway through the game. Falmouth burst out on top. It was 3 runs scored for Brewster in the first inning, 12-7 final with 30-plus hits between both teams, and now we're looking at barely even, a smidgen of that.
Ball one comes into the DH cleanup man, TJ Collette, who will start off the home half of the fourth. That's what they call the law of averages, right?
I guess so.
Things are going to settle down. Curveball, fouled off the plate, 1-1.
We're also seeing 2 aces today.
Yep.
That outing, it was kind of, I don't want to say two 5 guys in the rotation because I don't even know if anybody has a set rotation yet, but that's really who they were throwing out there. 2 of the guys who had gotten hit around the most. Yeah. And these are 2 of the guys who do the best.
1-1, swatted foul towards Ryan Eiley, towards Steven Moretto, the first baseman for Falmouth. That was Chris Gonzalez for the Commodores and Daniel Harper for the Whitecaps in that first matchup on July 2nd. Strike 3 got him looking. Aleman, 6 Ks on the evening. He has yet to issue a walk, and he picks up right where he left off in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, he has been electric. Everything has been a strike, and the only thing that he's really gotten beat on was Auerbach's single in the first, because the 2 hits that came in the third, both of them really could have been outs. One a fly ball that dropped because of the wind, and one an infield hit. So Aleman is looking as sharp as ever, as this is now 3 straight starts where, at least through the first 3 1/3, he is pretty dominant.
And it's the middle of the order that Aleman has set down. Hitters 3 through 6. Combined 0 for 6 with all 6 Ks. How about that?
Just unreal.
Castanon lifts a fly ball into left field. We'll see if the wind has an effect on this play. Moving over to his right is Maisel. He makes the catch. 2 down.
And a quick out is going to help out Aleman as well, because you know that he wants to keep the pitch count low. He was able to go 6 innings his last time out and get a victory, kept it around 70 pitches, and I'm sure he can even keep pushing that today.
Castanon moves to 0 for 2. The 2 men before him 0 for 2 with a pair of Ks each. Hardman steps up, a strikeout victim himself in the bottom of the 2nd inning. That was a 1-2-3 inning worked by Aleman. This is a single into left field on the first pitch, so Hardiman gets the 4th hit of the day for the Whitecaps.
Yeah, 4th hit, and really only the second, sure hit the entire time, as he perfectly is able to split the hole between third and shortstop. And Hardman continues to hit very well, as he now has another hit. He's got hits in 4 of his last 5 after that one.
Gage Workman, who had a hard out in the 2nd inning on a fly ball to center field, steps up. Righty-lefty matchup, righty pitcher and lefty batter. Claunch sets up low. Here's one that's sliced into center field. Rounding and heading towards third is Hardiman. He comes back to second, so back-to-back singles for hitters 6 and 7 here in the 4th.
And these have been 2 of the hottest hitters in the Brewster lineup. I mean, we mentioned Hardman with that 4 of last 5 getting hits, 7 of his last 15. Gage Workman also has been pretty hot. He had a 6-game hit streak broken on July 3rd, so that's just a couple of days ago, as he's starting to turn things around on his summer. And both those guys on the base paths, but limited to just singles, not extra base hits, so still manageable for Franco.
2 out, 2 on with Justin Vogt up at the plate. He doubled his first time up. He lifts one into center field for Dunn, who makes the catch eye level. And the Whitecaps get 2 hits, no runs, no errors, and 2 left on base. They hit Aleman a little bit harder, but we're still scoreless after the 4th inning. We'll be back a little bit early after this break with a hit from our sideline reporter, Katie Florio. Stay tuned to the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Top of the 5th we go, 0-0 between Brewster and Falmouth. And now we bring in the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Katie Florio, on the antics of the Falmouth Commodores. Katie.
Thanks, David. And if one thing is for sure, it's that this team is probably the goofiest and most fun team on the Cape. We've seen the constant shenanigans with interviews, but today they stepped it up a level. Tim Tawa actually went to the store and bought water guns, which they then used to shoot Sean Mellon and myself during today's pregame interview. But I spoke with Baron Radcliffe after that, and he said that being this loose truly does help them on the field. They don't feel the pressure to perform as much. They feel like they can just go out there and play. I know I love seeing them have fun, and it's definitely been a good season for them so far.
And we've definitely seen that, especially during this win streak for the Commodores, which was snapped yesterday against Chatham. They're really settling in, getting to know each other very well on the Cape, and it's something that we've heard from everyone. We heard it from head coach Jeff Trundy. We've noticed it, Danny, and especially during those interviews, the players are really showing off how goofy and laid back they've been.
Yeah, it's really fun to catch on camera, and I don't know, they just keep upping it. You know, they keep getting better.
Right.
The fact that they actually put in the wherewithal to go out and buy water guns specifically for interviews really shows that they're trying to step their game up, and they're focusing on it maybe a little too much, but I respect it.
Matt Nelson with the ball that he takes to start off the 5th inning. And we had a team breakfast this morning at the Cape Club in Falmouth, Massachusetts. Mikulski delivers a strike belt high. And Jeff Trundy said the same thing. He said these guys know how to have fun.
Yeah.
It has definitely shown, and it's translated. Team has won 4 of their last 5. They sit at 9-8-1 and 3rd in the West Division. Curveball outside part of the plate. Strike 2. One of these days, Katie's gonna suffer though because of the antics. I feel like, right? She got hit with a water gun today. Fastball misses high and away.
They'll start throwing baseballs at her.
Well, they were joking before the game because Barron basically stood up on the side of the dugout and like jumped off so that he basically came in really high into the shot. And he was joking. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna jump over you one of these times," talking to Katie.
Nope,
and I'm
you're
like,
not.
I'm like, you would clock her. 3-2 misses upstairs, full count. But it has been fun to watch, and it's fun to be a part of.
Yeah, and it makes everything looser. I mean, the guy at the plate has said that he's having the most fun because there's no pressure, so it helps alleviate the pressure as well.
Full count. Just barely foul tipped. I didn't even hear that. But it's lifted back into the screen. Mikulski takes off the hat and settles back in on the rubber with a 3-2 count.
Got to help that it's students talking to students. I mean, we're students
Sure.
like they are. Typically, if they're getting an interview, it's with somebody from SEC or ACC Network, somebody who's a professional in this business, and they can't have too much fun with that.
Payoff pitch. Foul ball over towards the on-deck man, Tim Tawa. Tawa reached on a fielder's choice his last time up, was tagged out at second base to end the top of the second inning. Mikulski, the lefty, shakes off Vogt twice, now 3 times. They finally agree, and again, Nelson calls time, but Mikulski doesn't move a muscle. I'm telling you, this is something different.
He's horrifying.
He really is.
He's like Matt Canarino, but doesn't talk.
The 3-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Mikulski has looked great now, 3 strikeouts this afternoon. Brings up Tim Tawa with 1 out and nobody on.
Yeah, Mikulski is still firing on all cylinders, and he's close to near, 70 pitches at this point, so there are a couple of righties warming up in the Brewster bullpen, but that's not because Mikulski has shown flaws or shown any signs of stopping, simply because he's thrown a lot of pitches, because he continues the 5th just like he has been pitching every other inning.
At 64 pitches, 38 strikes, 26 balls, Tawa shows bunt. Went around. Can't connect, 0-1. Trying to poke that bat head forward and dribble it down the third base line. Castanon still not playing in on the grass, so he's got some room if he can lay it down. Mikulski, after shaking off Vogt once, Tawa watches a ball at the shins. Tim Tawa, a rising junior with the Stanford Cardinal, has a 1-1 count. Takes another pitch at the same spot and is up 2-1. He had a 6-game hit streak to start his Stanford career during his freshman campaign, which he batted .296 during. The 2-1. Watched outside. 3 balls and a strike.
Stanford has had so much talent that it's
insane. I'm surprised they haven't made it to Omaha or the championship series.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Few years.
They in some of these supers they've really run into some trouble.
The 3-1. Ball 4. 5-pitch walk worked by Tim Tawa. Puts a base runner on with 1 out.
So he doesn't have a hit yet, but he has reached base twice. That's nothing to shake your head at. Tim Tawa is pretty good at doing that, and he's getting better at it as well, more consistently reaching base. And we'll see if the bottom of the lineup, which is something that has been more of a bright spot for Falmouth than most other teams, as the bottom of the lineup more often than not getting on base, getting hits, allowing themselves to score when the top of the lineup comes around. Hayden Cantrell mentioned that to us a couple weeks ago. And now they've got a chance to maybe put something together with a runner on and less than 2 outs.
First pitch to Moretto is lofted into left field. In is Auerbach. He has to move in a little bit further. He makes the catch. Tawa jogs back to first, 2 down.
I like the approach from Moretto. He saw a fastball knee high, and he said, let me not let Mikulski get ahead of me because he's been so dominant when he does have strikes against you. Gets a little bit under it, a little bit off the end of the bat, so not the best swing, but still I like the approach.
Mazella ground out victim in the 3rd. Mikulski has faced the minimum in 2 of his 5 innings of work. Settles in the stretch, checks on Tawa. Mazel, a rising senior at Holy Cross. Plays outfield for the Crusaders, was first team All-Patriot League in 2018. Here is one in foul territory. Auerbach ranging over, so is Castanon. He's called off by the shortstop, Gage Workman, who snatches it in foul territory. Tim Tawa works a one-out walk, but he is left stranded at first base as we head to the bottom of the fifth. Still 0-0 between Falmouth and Brewster.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Redshirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Now batting for the Whitecaps.
Bottom of the fifth here. Aleman still towing the rubber for the Doors.
Our tent still flying in the wind. There's a certain point where we have to use umbrellas.
No. I would rather this thing fly away into the parking lot than try to recreate Wareham last year. We'll tell you more about that in a sec. Strike one comes in to Duke Ellis, who reached on a fielder's choice his first time up in the third inning.
I'll feel like an idiot if the rain doesn't come.
I'd rather be safe than sorry, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for
Chopper
sure.
over towards Cantrell. It's there in a hurry, so he has time to throw on to first. 4-3 put out here in the bottom of the fifth. So last year, we've told the story, I think, once on the broadcast. We go to Spillane Field for a game between the Wareham Gatemen and the Falmouth Commodores. Rain's in the forecast. We bring our rain jackets. We set up. It was a game that was going to be televised on Fox College Sports. Mm-hmm. So we moved to the third base line as Ryan Bliss shoots one past the outstretched glove of Trey Cruz into left field. He has his second hit of the evening and is 2 for 3. And then the rain starts coming. And we had a few umbrellas set up.
Those, like, dollar store umbrellas. No golf umbrellas.
To cover our equipment. And it started pouring.
Hailing.
The game was called, not immediately, though, so we still had to be broadcasting.
Yeah.
And then we somehow got our equipment into our cars safely without any of it being affected by any water damage. But from that point on, we said, okay, if there's any rain in the forecast, we're bringing the tent. Ground ball over towards short. Cruz boots it on the transfer. Can't even get it to second base to Hayden Cantrell. That will definitely be ruled in E6. Puts runners on first and second with 1 out.
Taylor made double play. Hard hit at Cruz. Would have been an easy turn. But Cruz on the transfer, as you mentioned, couldn't hold on to it. And that's now a second mistake from Trey, because keep in mind, back in the third inning, the ground ball from Ryan Bliss, yeah, it took a couple of weird hops, but he still probably could have made a play on it, lost his balance, and couldn't throw to first base. This time, he makes an actual, physical error that you can write on your scorecard.
Ground ball over to Cruz again, and he boots it again. It's off the heel of his glove. Coming around to score is Ryan Bliss. He doesn't even slide, and Brewster takes a 1-0 lead. Wow.
I mean, we've seen this before earlier this week against Orleans. There were really no, it was so competitive. There were no issues for either side. And then all of a sudden, the 6th inning, the Falmouth pitching started really blowing it by throwing a lot of walks, hitting guys, throwing a lot of wild pitches. This time, everything is going right for both sides. Maybe not the hitting. Maybe that can click a little bit more. And it's the errors. It's Trey Cruz committing 2 errors on back-to-back plays that brings home a run. And the way that the Brewster pitching has been, it could be, a difference. It could be a 1-run game that really decides this.
Collette holds up on the first pitch from Aleman, which misses low. We saw yesterday, even in that game against Chatham, Danny, a 6-5 win for the Anglers. 2 unearned runs allowed by Falmouth.
Yep.
So that's the difference between the win and a loss. Here today, 2 errors on back-to-back plays for the shortstop, Trey Cruz. The 1-0 misses in.
And one of the guys that you least expect it to happen to, because everybody they've been plugging at short has been, as sure-handed as the other guy. Cantrella's been pretty stellar at short, Cruz, Kendall, but Cruz showing some flaws right here.
Cruz had 2 errors all summer before tonight. He matches that total in the span of about 45 seconds. 2 balls, no strikes. Still 2 runners on for Brewster as well, and a 3rd ball from Aleman. Falmouth running into some trouble here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, I mean, when it rains, it pours, and right now Aleman is starting to let it pour because he's throwing balls. He's just going to have to reset his mind and focus.
Collette, a rising senior at Kentucky, takes a strike at the belt. 3-1. Bats as a lefty, throws as a righty. Aleman's going to take his time. As a stray ball from the Brewster bullpen ends up in shallow left field. So we call for a quick time.
That went a long ways.
That did. The 1 run for the Whitecaps has been unearned. It came a couple minutes ago. Falmouth nearly turning a double play twice, but Trey Cruz with some troubles over at short has been the difference in this game. Dancing off of second base is Auerbach. Here's a foul ball into the mask of Troy Claunch. He takes off that face mask and shakes it off. 3-2.
That was rattling. He just looked stunned by it. That was a pretty fast pitch, and Collette just barely nicked a piece of it, so it's pretty much full on into Claunch's mask. 90 miles an hour into your face. I mean, come on.
Claunch seems all right. He smiles with Collette as they exchange words. Huge pitch coming up for Collette. Or to Collette, I should say. Aleman on the bump. He shakes off Claunch twice.
He wants to go fastball.
Runners going. Here's one sliced into shallow center field. It's going to drop in front of Blake Dunn. Auerbach comes around to score. Gentry is into third. And 2 hits now, 2 errors, 2 runs for the Whitecaps in the bottom of the 5th. They are up by a pair.
Well, Franco did shake off Claunch to go back to that fastball. Only issue is he left it about middle in. Caught way too much plate, and Collette with a great piece of hitting. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, but this time around, he manages to beat Franco, and it was still a good pitch. I really liked how inside it was. Didn't really let Collette get his arms extended too much, but great 2-strike hitting as he comes out on top this time around.
Longest half inning worked by either side as the 6th batter comes to the plate for the Whitecaps here in the bottom of the 5th in Marcos Castanon. He swings at the first pitch. It's skied in the infield. Cruz moves over, calls off everyone, moves back to his left, and makes the catch. Some sarcastic applause from the Brewster Whitecaps. Now 2 down.
Yeah, summer ball is not as serious, but you know that Trey Cruz is taking that to heart right now, and probably the entire Falmouth team. That is,
in my opinion, that's distasteful, even if it is summer ball.
Oh yeah, but that's something. The reason I say that is because that's something that school teams do constantly.
Right,
They're
right.
constantly chirp each other. Something about college baseball players just hate each other when they're on the diamond, and you know that Falmouth is going to have that in the back of their minds and retaliate in some way.
Hardman takes a ball. And if there's one thing about the Falmouth team, on top of having fun, another thing Jeff Trundy talked about during the breakfast today, is that they are never out of a game. Yesterday they were trailing Chatham 6-0. Came back, cut it to 6-5. Ran out of gas in the bottom of the ninth and lost by 1. Second pitch to Hardman is well foul, 1-1.
They also have each other's backs. I mean, when one guy makes a mistake, they're usually there to pick each other up. Like you said, they're never down, so they're always they're never down for the count, I should say. Even when they're down, they're always motivated to come back and fight hard. You know that Franco definitely has that mindset, and I'm sure the lineup is looking to do it as well. Just got to get past Mikulski.
The 1-1 skips in the dirt and past Clonch. Dashing home is Gentry. He will tap home plate without a throw. 3-0 Brewster.
Looked like Clonch had everything settled down, got to his knees, was ready to block it like a true catcher would, but I don't think he got down to his knees in time as it just squeaked underneath his mitt and through his legs. So a little bit of an awkward, wild pitch that is tough to keep in front of you, and it burns the doors.
Roll the wild pitch. Now a 3-0 lead for Brewster. 2-1. Slapped foul. And a broken bat. I mean, absolutely broken. He hung on to about 5 inches at the handle of the bat, and the rest went flying into the screen.
Credit Franco Alemán for that, keeping the ball so far inside that he just absolutely annihilates the wood. Franco's still got a perfect ERA on the summer, just wanted to say. None of the runs today have been earned.
Bliss reached on a single, came around to score. Auerbach and Gentry both reached on errors by Trey Cruz to come around to score. So unearned run if you're scoring on an error or if you reach on an error. Long look into Troy Clonch. 2-2, 2 outs. Collette on second. Dribbler over towards Tawa. He fields it on the run and throws on to Steven Moretto. Painful half inning for the Commodores. They allow 3 runs on 2 hits, 2 errors, and 1 runner left on base for the Whitecaps. It's rally time for the Commodores heading to the 6th. You're listening to the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Urgent Care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
We are back here in the top of the 6th inning. Falmouth trailing for the first time tonight after a 3-spot put up by the Whitecaps. And with that, they will head to the bullpen and bring in Kurt Wilson, Danny, a 2-way player for Brewster.
Yeah, we have seen Kurt once before, but he played the outfield. That was his first appearance of the summer at Gov Fuller Field. He went 1 for 3, 2 Ks. This time, he'll try to be more productive on the hill, as he is a 2-way player, like you mentioned, from Texas Tech University. 2019 ERA of 6.14 over 14 2/3 innings of pitching. 2018 an 8.10 ERA over 13 1/3, so it doesn't pitch all that much. He did pitch an inning in the College World Series, oddly enough, in 2018 against Arkansas. Got a strikeout, but not much of a pitcher anyway.
The righty from Texas Tech fires a first pitch ball to Hayden Cantrell, who's batting as a lefty for the first time tonight, now that Mikulski is out of the game.
Mercy for the Doors.
Tell me about it. 5 innings of work, 1 infield single from Blake Dunn, 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. The 1-0 is fouled into the screen, 1-1.
Now Hayden can bat from the left side, and I haven't noticed him having, any deficiencies right versus left. He seems just as dominant at both.
Yeah.
But see if Trey Cruz can and Hayden can turn their fortunes.
The 1-1 from 1-1 is fouled into the screen. Kurt Wilson wearing number 11 for the Whitecaps. Stands at 6'2", 185, so the same height and weight as Matt Mikulski.
It's definitely, I don't know, he doesn't look as lanky as Mikulski. Mikulski looked taller and skinnier.
I agree. 1-2 the count. Wind whipping towards us. Ball misses high.
It's always windy here in Brewster. We only here once last year, but it was pretty windy.
Was it windy then?
Yeah.
I don't remember it as
was,
well.
It was a pretty much identical day to today, where it was cloudy, the rain was going to come at night, and it was pretty windy.
I remember it was a doubleheader.
Yes.
Commodores sweeping here at Brewster last year. The 2-2. Well upstairs. Full count now.
Pretty much everything has been high from Wilson so far, so those are easy to lay off and easier to hit when he does hit the strike zone. We'll see if he gives anything to hit for Hayden right here, but I'd expect it again. Belter let her high.
Payoff pitch. Wilson delivers inside, ball 4. Close pitch from Wilson, but the leadoff runner is on for Hayden Cantrell.
Yeah, Hayden with a great eye lately. He's been walking a lot more. He does swing at the first pitch more often than not, but he has been walking recently. Just goes to show how great he has been offensively, getting in on base in just about every way you can.
I might be giving Hayden Cantrell a little bit too much credit, but I feel like he knows what the team needs, right? If they need a hit, or maybe they don't need a base runner as much, he's going to be swinging more. If they need a base runner and are trailing, as they are right now, he might be more apt to work a longer count. Hayden Cantrell, 9 for 10 on stolen base attempts this year. Wilson now a righty. He has a pickoff move and tries to get Cantrell. Blake Dunn at the plate. He watches a strike at the letters, a grimace from Blake Dunn. Dunn batted .308 his freshman year, .374 his sophomore year. Cantrell is going, sliding in, safe. Tag applied by Ryan Bliss, but just a little bit late, so says third base umpire Jamie Klump. And Danny, that was a close play.
Yeah, that was maybe the closest we've seen all summer on a stolen base. It looked like Hayden might have gotten that left hand with the oven mitt over it right onto the base before the tag. I really thought he was going to beat it by a mile because he got such a great jump, but a good throw and an accurate one, and then a great tag by Bliss going right to the left hand that was sliding in.
The 1-1. Inside to Blake Dunn. Good take, screams Hayden Cantrell, who's now in scoring position.
He's always a leader wherever he is.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always hear him.
And Danny, he stole 3 bases against Brewster on July 2nd, just a few days ago, so now moves his stolen base total to 4 for 4 against the Whitecaps. The 2-1 to Dunn is low.
And weirdly enough about Hayden was he was stealing so many bases, stole so many against Brewster a couple days ago. Last 2 games, he didn't even attempt a stolen base, and he got on 6 times.
Right. Wilson fired just 8 walks during his sophomore year in 14 innings of work. In danger of walking his second here in his first appearance of the summer. Big swing on a high pitch from Dunn. Moves the count to full.
Yeah, probably could have been ball 4, but those high pitches always do look juicy. He's still got another chance here to at least walk, maybe get on base in another way.
Cantrell about 10 feet away from second base. Jersey covered in dirt, as it usually is. Wilson with a long look into the catcher Vogt. They agree. He settles in the stretch. Bobs that left leg up and down, settles, lifts, and delivers. Curveball, strike 3. Big strikeout for Kurt Wilson. He battles back from a 3-1 count to get 1 out and a runner on second.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, crew chief. That looked a little bit low and maybe inside. I mean, it was a great curveball, had a lot of good movement, but maybe just a good frame job as well by Vogt. But it definitely, I don't know, I was kind of with Blake on that. It's a little too low for my taste.
Deloach has been insane at the plate. Had a 7-game hit streak snapped in Game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday, as he was 0 for 4. He's 0 for 2 today, and he skewers one into left field. Jogging in is Auerbach. He makes the catch over his left shoulder and hurdles it into Ryan Bliss. 2 down.
This would be disappointing for Falmouth. They've gotten runners on base in the last 3 innings, all 3 of them with less than 2 outs. The 4th got the leadoff man on. The 5th got the second hitter of the inning on, so a runner on first with 1 out. And in the 6th, they had a runner on second and nobody out. 4th and 5th couldn't even get him to second base. Here in the 6th, at risk of stranding him there.
Base runners have come at a premium for Falmouth today, especially against the starter Mikulski, who is in line for the win if Brewster retains the lead for the rest of this game. Wilson, first pitch, strike to Trey Cruz. Cruz definitely has something to prove at the plate right now. He had 2 errors in the bottom of the 5th. Cruz, another switch hitter like his buddy Cantrell at second. He's batting as a lefty for the first time tonight. The 0-1. Curveball drops a little too low, 1-1. .640 is the time here in Brewster, Massachusetts. No lights here at Stony Brook Field. That's the reason for the 5 p.m. start. The 1-1. Curveball, but he went around. It's dropped by Vogt, and it moves over to his left. Cantrell stays at second. He claps his hands together. Thinks that if he went right as it leaked away, he could have snatched third.
Probably could have,
Yeah.
but, I mean, wouldn't matter much because Cruz still got to put one into play and get a hit in order to score Cantrell regardless. And Cantrell can probably score from second with 2 outs. But that was a real low pitch, never really in the strike zone. And Cruz still swung at it even as it bounced off the plate.
The 1-2. Fastball high. Cruz gets a piece and lifts it out of play. 1-2 stays the count. Brewster starting to pull away a little bit. They lead Falmouth in the hits category 7-1. Only man who has a hit for the Doors was Blake Dunn.
That's the most glaring thing. I mean, the 3 runs were all unearned against Falmouth, but still, they're sorely being out-hit by Brewster.
The 1-2. Curveball. Outside.
That's a great take. Looks like Trey kind of learned from his mistakes. The 1-1 pitch was a curveball that hit off the plate, never really in the zone. That one was even better, and that was on the back door, too. Can be really easy to swing at those to chase for them and, you know, just keep yourself alive, but Trey has a good enough eye to lay off.
2-2, 2 outs. Hayden Cantrell on second. Curveball again, misses in the same spot, and a full count. 3rd full count we've seen this half inning. 1 ended with a walk, 1 ended with a strikeout.
Thinking fastball high. Wilson seems to like to go to that pitch, and his curveball has missed the last 2 tries.
Wilson with his glove on his left hip finally agrees on a pitch. Has the glove now right by his face. Lifts his left leg and delivers. Fastball outside. Second walk worked by the Commodores here in the top of the 6th. Put runners on first and second with 2 down.
Another really close pitch and another good take by Trey Cruz. I mean, some of these pitches have been 50-50. I really don't know. I don't know how to gauge Joe Caraco behind the plate calling balls and strikes. It seems, you know, we don't have the best angle either, but it seems like whenever I think he's going to punch somebody out, he calls it a ball. Whenever I think he's going to call a ball, he punches them out. But Cruz this time around benefits.
Brings out Scott Landers, the pitching coach for Brewster. He's the head coach at Oswego State in New York for the past 8 years. It's a Division III school out in the Empire State. They won the D3 College World Series in 2017 and 2018. A quick word to Wilson, as he will now face the catcher, Troy Clonch. Clonch 0 for 2 today with a pop out and a ground out. Scoreboard out in left center with Brewster Whitecaps across the top and coated in navy blue paint reads 3-0 Brewster. Clonch swings at the first pitch. It's a high, deep drive to left center field. Backhand tracking is Duke Ellis at the wall. Did he make the catch? He's over the wall. It's gone. A 3-run blast for Troy Clonch, and this game is tied.
What a ridiculous play. Duke Ellis vaulted himself over a fence that's already about, 5'1.5" tall. So that's a pretty tall fence. That's how high he leapt up for it. Looked like he caught it, completely somersaulted, still goes over the wall. How about the power from Troy Clonch? His first home run of the season, probably the deepest part of the ballpark here in Brewster. That was about like a 405 shot. I can't read that. Is that 375 out in left center? Maybe about 400 feet in left center that he was able to put that thing. I mean, unreal power that we just saw from Clonch on a pitch that kept carrying. And also the vault from Ellis, the jump, that was pretty cool.
Matt Nelson takes strike one at the belt. I thought he came up with it.
I thought he caught it,
and
too.
It wasn't until I saw the ball leaking up that hill in left center field that I knew that it was gone. That was a crazy play. Just the second hit of the day for Falmouth ties the game. Foul tip into the mitt, 0-2.
Although if he did catch it and landed on the other side of the fence, it still would have been a home run, which is the most bogus rule in baseball. But it still would have gone over.
I mean, I was just getting flashbacks, I know, as a Red Sox fan, but to Game 2 of the 2013 ALCS with Torrey Hunter out in right field on the home run from Big Papi. Same situation. The 0-2. It's a ball upstairs.
Did he catch it and land on the other side of the ball?
No, it was in the Red Sox bullpen. He nearly caught it, but he got clotheslined by the wall and went somersaulting.
Okay.
But same sort of thing. He had a really close play. And there was that split second where people didn't know if it was caught or if it was a home run. The 1-2. Curveball. Belt high. Strike 3. Kurt Wilson gets his second looking K of that half inning, but a first pitch 3-run blast from Troy Clonch ties this game as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 3-3 at Stony Brook Field.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Redshirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Bottom of the 6th and a tie ball game. And to the bullpen, the Commodores go with Logan Hoffman on the bump.
I've really liked Logan Hoffman. I think he's sneaky, been one of the hottest pitchers on this from this bullpen because, I mean, we talk all about guys like Thomas Gerard or Zach Brixey who can throw 100 or Sean Mullen who has been pretty lights out. Logan Hoffman got a lot of appearances in the beginning of the season, and he was pretty shut down. He ran into a little bit of trouble his last time out where he pitched against Orleans in that, pretty drastic 6th inning. He went 2 2/3 inning, 2/3 of an inning, allowed a hit, a walk, struck out 1, but he let a couple of runs come home because of some wild pitches and some walks. But other than that, had 1 run allowed throughout the rest of his 4 appearances. Came in on opening day where he threw 3 innings of work, allowed only 1 hit, 6 Ks on that opening day. So he set the bar high, and he has performed well.
Big looping curveball at the belt of Gage Workman for a first pitch strike. Hoffman from the windup, the righty delivers a fastball up and away. Rising junior who will be at Northwestern State next year after 2 years at Colby College. From Munster, Saskatchewan. The 1-1 count to Gage Workman. This off speed settles a little low, 2-1.
I wanted to tell a story of my own about the Duke Ellis falling over the fence. Back in middle school, this was way back, playing middle school baseball, for the school season.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
There was a home run hit out to center field, and my team's center fielder was tracking it. The fence was about, we were probably, 5.5 feet at the time, or, not too many kids at their growth spurts. The fence was probably about up to most kids' necks or chests about.
2-2 is a fastball just outside and a full count.
Pretty high fence, and it was not like a solid. It was not solid metal or anything like that. But our center fielder goes and leaps the entire fence like it's a hurdle and track, and makes the catch in midair. Lands on his feet on the other side of the wall, and it was still called a home run because of the rules.
Payoff pitch, foul tipped in and out of the mid of Troy Clonch, who can't believe it. So Gage Workman stays alive.
It was by far the most athletic play I've seen in any sport ever. And the fact that it was still called a home run because the rules just really bummed me out to this day.
In case you missed it, 3-run home run from Troy Clonch in the top of the 6th tied this game. Duke Ellis almost made the catch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice first appearance for Logan Hoffman in this game as he strikes out the first batter he faces.
Yeah, not bad. He's actually been kind of a strikeout pitcher as well. I mentioned the 6 strikeouts he had in his first appearance against Harwich. He has strikeouts in every single appearance he's had, even the one where he went less than an inning. So through 7 innings of work, he does have 10 Ks, limiting the walks to only 4. Again, another dominant pitcher in the bullpen, in a bullpen that's been so good.
Strike 1 at the knees to Justin Vogt. Vogt, the catcher tonight for Brewster. He got picked on in the first matchup between these two teams. He's looked much more solid tonight. Curveball breaks a little too soon. Nice block by Clonch. Vogt 1 for 2 today. He had a double in the 3rd. That was when Brewster started to get to Franco Aleman. They had a double and a single. Duke Ellis also reached on a fielder's choice. Swing and a miss on the fastball, 1-2.
Looking a lot like Franco Aleman did in the early goings when he was just hitting the strike zone so much and getting a lot of swinging strikes. Started to taper off for Franco towards the tail end of his outing. But Logan looking as sharp.
The 1-2. Curveball, which Vogt lays off, 2-2. Aleman's final line, 5 innings of work, 7 hits, 3 runs, none of them earned, as they all came either on an error or the person who scored reached on an error. No walks and 6 Ks. Curveball stays up by the belt, and the second strikeout for Hoffman here in the 6th.
Another great curveball, and that one was 12-6, and it perfectly placed the outside corner. I mean, not much you can do if you're Vogt because you haven't seen this pitcher yet, and he is just throwing something that he's keeping on a string. So pretty impressive stuff from Hoffman already.
Duke Ellis comes up for his 3rd AB. He's 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice and grounded out. He hits one foul. well in front of the Brewster dugout on the left side of this field. Getting dark and overcast here at Stony Brook. Swing and a miss, strike 2 from Ellis.
Yeah, I feel like we're losing daylight even though it's only just about 7 p.m. And at the pace we're going, we'll finish this game.
This game already would be final as we have played 5 innings. High fastball goes well upstairs, 1-2. Hoffman transferring this upcoming year. He had 128 strikeouts this past year. He gets 3 in this half inning. A looking strikeout to Duke Ellis. He strikes out the side in the bottom of the 6th. To the 7th we go in a 3-3 ball game here at Stony Brook Field. We'll be back on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1994, holds over 1,000 events nationwide for players in both high school and middle school, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, with thousands drafted and more than 500 who have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod Healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome back to Stony Brook Field here in Brewster, Massachusetts. 3-3 ball game after a 3-run home run off the bat of Troy Claunch tied it up in the 6th inning. Here in the 7th, it will be Tim Tawa leading things off against another new pitcher, Peyton Alford, for Brewster. Alford's last appearance came against these Falmouth Commodores, and he was shut down. 3 innings of work, 3 hits, 1 walk, 3 Ks. No runs. First pitch, fastball, sits for a strike at the knees.
And that's when Falmouth really was firing offensively.
Yeah.
I mean, Alford came in late and really shut down the Falmouth bats right when Brewster needed them to.
Tawa fouls that one away. He was like water onto a fire, just cooled them down immediately.
Right.
That was after an appearance against Wareham where he threw 1 inning of work and allowed 5 runs on 4 hits. So definitely a necessary bounce back for Alford, who's now sitting at a 5.83 ERA. 0-2, just misses outside. Good eye by Tawa.
Still can't get over that play from Claunch. That was one of the wildest we've seen this year. And one of the most clutch to tie the game, too.
1-2, down low. Yeah, that was, I mean, we saw a home run against Brewster that Smith hit, which was a grand slam,
Right.
and already it broke open the ball game, but it was already a comfortable lead. Saw a home run from Smith again yesterday that didn't tie the game, got him close. That fastball inside. A home run from Deloach in Game 1 actually did tie the game to make it 2-2. It was a solo shot. So a lot more home runs being hit by Falmouth. They're starting to get their power bug.
Yeah, that was their 10th on the year. by the 5th different player.
Alford's payoff pitch. That one is roped into left field, curling and lands fair along the left field fence. Bounces up off the wall, and Tawa is into second base standing with a leadoff double.
There we go. Some hard contact for the Doors, and Alford, who got up ahead of Tawa, 1 and 2. Nice piece of contact. He was well ahead of the fastball. Looping line drive right down the left field line into the corner. Long way to go for Auerbach. Just great contact. Maybe the hardest hit ball we've seen from Tawa this summer.
Oh, absolutely. It was tailing a lot as well, but it was able to land fair by a good 10 feet. And now Steven Moretto has a chance to, at the very least, advance his teammate over towards third. First pitch he sees from Alford. He takes it, skips away from the catcher Vogt, and Tawa's going to take third regardless. Wild pitch, and now the go-ahead run is only 90 feet away.
It's going to bring another pitching visit from Landers.
Yeah, this is an early one, too.
Interesting move as shortstop Gage Workman, second baseman Ryan Bliss, and the first baseman Tyler Hardman were heading to the bump, and Landers looked over to Workman and signaled to not come to the mound. He wants to just talk to Alford and the catcher Vogt.
So we can assume that Brewster probably bringing the infield in. We're late in the ball game. It's the 7th inning. It's a tie game. Falmouth with Logan Hoffman on the mound. He doesn't give up too much of anything. So Brewster going to try to keep this a tie game if they find a ground ball their way, as now Joe Caraco is going to break up this powwow between the catcher, the pitching coach, and the pitcher. Peyton Alford from Virginia Tech. He's a teammate of Falmouth reliever Zach Brixey. Alford has thrown 12 1/3 innings of work on the summer so far. This is his 7th appearance, so he's been quite a workhorse for Brewster. Games are starting to get up there here on the Cape as we're finally into the swing of things. Brewster, I believe, at 20 games played. Joe Caraco is having a discussion with the Brewster dugout and writing something on his scorecard. And now there's an argument breaking out between the Brewster dugout and Caraco. What do we got here?
I don't know. I'm a little late to the party. I was looking down at my scorecard and trying to decipher what's going on right now as Castanon is now looking down to the third base ump, Jamie Klump. Some applause from the Whitecaps, and Caraco.
He's writing an essay on his...
Stone-faced, not giving out much of anything. He's got his notebook out.
He's writing something really lengthy on there. It's got to be a paragraph length at this point. We can't hear because we got these big headphones on. We can really only hear each other.
Yeah.
But there was something.
Unfortunately.
There was some type of, distaste between the two, Caraco and the Brewster dugout. But we're back in action. Runner on third, nobody out. Steven Moretto facing a 1-0 count against the lefty Alford. He lines that one right up the middle for a base hit. Steven Moretto has an RBI single, and Tim Tawa comes home with the 4th run and the go-ahead run.
First pitch swinging from Moretto. And I don't know, I was looking at his face during that whole thing with Joe Caraco, especially when he got into the batter's box. He looked extremely focused. He's always very focused at the plate, and he has done a great job working long at bats, but I don't know, maybe something with those applause and some of the antics from Brewster. He was kind of locked in, it seemed, especially on that AB.
Austin Maisel bluffs bunt, pulls it back, and takes a ball. That's Steven Moretto's 2nd RBI in his last 11 games played now. He had only 1 RBI in his last 10, and that came against Brewster as well. Now make it 2. This one coming a couple days later against the same ball club.
Yeah, bat heating up again lately.
1-0 fastball is taken on the inside half to Maisel from the College of the Holy Cross. Massachusetts native. Really lost a lot of the Massachusetts natives on this Falmouth roster.
We did.
There were a lot early, and now it's pretty much only Maisel.
There'll be a lot late, too.
Yeah. 1-1. He gets the bunt down up the first base line. This is going to be a tricky play for Alford as he makes it, spins around, gives an underhand flip, and just in time to catch the quick Maisel. So it's a sacrifice bunt, 1-3 on the putout, and nearly a hit, and as that one was placed perfectly.
Yeah, that's a great bunt from Maisel. Does his job. Moves Moretto over to second base. with the top of the order coming back up.
And this is a top of the order that hits more RBIs than most tops of the orders. Hayden Cantrell was the team leader in RBIs. That has maybe dwindled now. He's been without an RBI for quite some time. No RBIs in his last 4 games played. Swings at the first pitch off speed, comes up empty.
Looks like a changeup, and we know Hayden Cantrell hates changeups, right?
Yeah, said as much.
Way ahead of that pitch.
He's 0 for 2 today, walked his last time up and scored. Working on a 5-game hitting streak, trying to continue that right here. Came into tonight 9 for his last 19. Just an incredible clip. Here's the 0-1 from Alford. Another breaking ball. That one skips in the dirt, but just getting a piece of it on the backhand is Vogt. So he manages to keep it in front of him and keep Moretto at bay. One count to Cantrell batting from the right side. Rising junior at Louisiana Lafayette. Went 2 for 4 last game against Brewster. The 1-1. Swings and misses on another off-speed pitch. It's been 3 breaking balls and a couple of strikes. Hayden 3 for 4 yesterday, all 3 of them singles. Got into scoring position every time but never scored. That was in game 2 against Chatham. Here's the 1-2. Fastball that's popped foul. Interesting that Alford goes to a fastball after 3 pretty dire breaking balls.
Yeah, he's just trying to change a pace later in the game. Cantrell's 4th at bat, or 4th time at the plate now, I should say. Trying to keep him guessing.
Hayden saw Alford when these 2 teams faced off because Alford pitched 3 innings. He saw just about everybody in the lineup that day. 1-2. Fastball in the dirt. Great block by Vogt as Moretto can't advance. That one really had a chance to take an awkward skip.
Yeah, Vogt's looking good behind the plate. We saw some pass balls, some iffy throws when the doors were running on Tuesday. But he's looked sure-handed behind the plate tonight.
And his throws have been great, too. I mean,
yep.
Hayden's stolen base was a very close play. The 2-2. Downstairs, full count.
Well, Cantrell working longer at bats. 6th and the 7th, he's worked it full both times.
He walked in the 6th after working it full. I'm sure he would take that right here because he did fall behind 1 and 2. Alford comes set, pitching from the stretch with the glove at the belt. Rocks and fires the payoff pitch. That is loped towards short, and coming way off the bag is Moretto after the catch was made by Workman. It's a double play. Gage Workman catches the bloop and doubles off Moretto, who thought it was sure to reach the outfield. That will end the inning, but Falmouth takes a lead. They lead 4-3 after Tawa scores on the Moretto single. Falmouth scores the 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base for the Doors as we go to the home half of the 7th.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more. The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
Thank you for that stellar read, David, and we will begin.
Thank you, Danny, for thanking me for that stellar read.
We will begin the bottom of the 7th inning. Falmouth working with a lead for the first time all game. Put on 1 in the 7th thanks to 2 hits. And now Logan Hoffman, if he can settle down, Brewster will put Falmouth in a great spot. Swinging at the first pitch is Ryan Bliss, but he fouls it back. No balls and 1 strike to the Auburn Tiger.
It's been a fun game, Danny. We've seen a couple of fun matchups past couple days for the Doors. Even both of those games against Katuitt were entertaining.
Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball, Bliss lays off. A ball and a strike. Yeah, a lot of these games have been really close, really competitive. Yesterday was the most exciting, I think. Those 2 games, each of them decided by only 1 run, 1 going in Falmouth's favor, 1 going in Chatham's favor. Big looping 12-6 curveball. Starts at the letters, drops at the knees. 1 and 2. But long story short, it's been a lot of good baseball being played lately. Gets a couple of Eastern teams. First Chatham, now Brewster. The 1-2 from Hoffman. Fastball, and he tries to go all the way to the attic with it and misses high.
That's the thing about Hoffman with that small frame at just 5'11". When he misses, it's usually the release point, and sometimes it can cause him to miss the strike zone by quite a bit. We saw that against Orleans.
2-2. Now coming home to Bliss. Skips off the plate. Full count to the rising sophomore from LaGrange, Georgia. Mentioned he's an Auburn Tiger. Opted to go to Auburn rather than go to the Boston Red Sox when he was drafted in 2018 in the 30th round. Payoff pitch. Popped up. That one is behind home plate. Claunch tosses the mask. He tosses the helmet. And it's going to land right about 5 feet to my left. Off the bleacher. And good thing the iPad we use to keep score on our live stream.
Good thing we have the tent.
That too.
Although that probably would have punched a hole through the tent.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a foul ball, and count will be 3-2 to Bliss. Bliss so far this game, 2 for 3. Flew out his first time up, then singles in his next 2 at-bats. He's gotten up every other inning. His 4th time here in the 7th. Another payoff pitch. That fastball is upstairs for ball 4, and now make it 3 straight plate appearances for Ryan Bliss, where he has reached base.
He's good, man. I mean, he puts the ball in play. He doesn't really take. That was just his 2nd walk of the summer, but he has 2 singles, and the one time he got out was on a hard-hit ball to center field. Works long at bats, gets a pitch to hit, puts it in play a good amount of the time, finds the gaps. He's an on-base machine for Brewster and Auburn. I think he's one of the best players on this team, honestly.
Yeah. He had 35 at-bats coming into tonight and only 1 walk.
Yeah.
Now he's got walks in back-to-back games. Now it's Brett Auerbach with a runner on first. Runner goes on a breaking ball. Throw down to second. Dropped by Cruz as he was applying the tag. Looked a little short as he was reaching second base. Cruz had to reach behind himself to slap the tag on, and it got jarred loose somewhere along the way.
It's one of those weird plays where the glove, I think, collided with Bliss's shoulder before the ball got there.
Probably.
And it caused it to squeak out and move to the left. That was a good throw. The thing is, with that off speed from Hoffman, not as much velocity, so it doesn't get to the plate in as much time.
Yeah, he definitely takes a number off of it. It's still 0-1 as the curveball dropped in for a strike. Showing bunt is Auerbach. He gets it down off the third base side. Logan has to get all the way over there and throw to first base. Nobody was expecting that one. It was a late show by Auerbach. He is thrown out at first base, but advancing to third is Bliss with a potential game-tying run.
That's a great bunt from Auerbach. The top of the order is really good for Brewster because he singled and then laid down a nice sacrifice here in the 7th for the meat of the order.
So how about that? These last 2 innings, some pretty spectacular bunts laid down. Well, first by Maisel, then by Auerbach. Maisel's bunt didn't lead to much for Falmouth as Moretta was caught on second base. We'll see how Auerbach's bunt works out. Here's another first pitch curveball for a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike to Gentry.
Infield playing way in for the Doors. They're trying to get Bliss at home. It's going to be tough to do, though, even on a hard-hit ground ball. He has a ton of speed.
Pretty much only to the pitcher you'll definitely get him.
Right.
0-1 home. Another breaking ball, and this time Gentry swings. He's well out ahead of it and fouls it away.
Hoffman's got a great curveball. I thought he was really impressive in his first outing of the summer. He did give up that 1 earned run against Harwich. but he's only given up 3 hits this summer.
Gentry with 12 RBIs on the summer. He's 0 for 3 today with 2 Ks. The 0-2. Make it 3 Ks. Another curveball and a swing and a miss puts Gentry down on strikes. That's 2 outs with Bliss still on third. Collette coming up to the plate, but Hoffman with a chance to work out of the jam.
Falmouth fans here excited about that strikeout because they know how big of an out that was. Right now the infield can go back and just play for the play at first. Don't have to worry about Bliss at first base. Hoffman doing his thing.
TJ Collette, who was 1 for 3, a single his last time up in the 5th, scored a run. So he's brought his tally up to 10 RBIs. Came into the ball game batting a respectable 266 as a fastball skips off the plate, and a great block by Troy Claunch. Both catchers, as the game has progressed, are getting sounder and sounder.
Yeah, right now Claunch has been the player of the game for the Commodores with that 3-run home run, and he's looked great behind the plate. Only one wild pitch that went into the screen ended up scoring Tyler Gentry and gave Brewster a 3-0 lead.
1-0 the count to Collette the lefty. The pitch, breaking ball off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes.
Similar to Gerard, Hoffman gets a lot of swings and misses on his off speed, especially that curveball, which goes high and then down. So if you're a hitter, it's tough to do, but you got to lay off.
Yeah.
Because then you can get ahead in the count.
He's ahead right now, 2 balls to no strikes, being very patient at the plate. Huge at bat right here. In a 4-3 ball game in favor of the Doors. The pitch, another breaking ball, and this time it hits the plate. A lot of curveballs we've seen from Hoffman. I think only 1 fastball he's thrown throughout the last, 6 or 7 pitches.
Yeah, the curveball looks good, and he either tries to fire it with it breaking at about the ankles or breaking at the belt. Only thing about leaving that curveball high is if they time it up right, they can take it for a ride.
2-1 is a fastball. It's taken for a ride into deep right center field. Blake Dunn has a read on it, but he's called off by the right fielder, Zach DeLoach, and that will do it for the 7th. How about that? Leadoff walk, stolen base, and then Bliss with speed ends up on third with only 1 out, and he's stranded there after a strikeout and a flyout, retires the side. We go to the top of the 8th inning. It's still 4-3 Doors.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Welcome back to Stony Brook Field as we are just about to get set, to get ready for the top of the 8th inning. And at this time, we'll shoot it over to our sideline reporter, Katie Florio, to tell us a little something about that big game-tying home run that Troy Claunch hit just a couple innings ago. Katie.
Thanks, Danny. And first off, I want to give a shout-out to our videographer, Severin Lavenstein, because he absolutely just called Troy's home run. I was standing right next to him in the dugout, and he said, next pitch, this one's going over, and he's tying it, and that is exactly what happened. But being in the dugout, a lot of guys just told me that some thought it was going to be gone as soon as he hit it, but then once it started carrying, they weren't sure if the center fielder caught it. Obviously, down there, we saw him kind of flip over the fence, but once they realized it was gone and the game was tied, obviously stormed out of the dugout and high fives all around.
Thank you, Katie. So everybody in the dugout was pretty much fooled by it. We were pretty much fooled by it. I think, David, you were right on it as it happened. But I was looking out there. We both agreed that looked like it was going to be a catch for a hot second. As Blake Dunn throws down bunt, it stops right in front of home plate. The throw over to first. Foul ball, they say. It hit him in the box. So a drag bunt laid down by Blake Dunn. I thought it hit him after he got out of the box, so that is a great turn of events for Blake that he was still in the box when it hit him. Otherwise, he would have been out.
Yeah, and I thought, I didn't see it hit his body. We're going to actually have an umpires conference right now, and they're going to talk this one over because I think that call was made by Jeff Brazell down at first base. I don't even think Joe Caraco saw it.
Yeah. Well, it hit him somewhere. I definitely saw that, and I thought he was right ahead of the plate. No call was made by Caraco. Merzell said, don't even worry about it. He would have been out at first base, so
maybe they are talking about what you said. If it hit him outside the box, they might call him out here.
We saw that happen to Kevin Kendall a couple of games ago. He laid down a drag bunt up the first base side, and the ball caught up to him, hit him on the heel. If you're hit by the ball in the base path, you are out. Rule is foul ball after a quick conference, so no video review. They just basically have to go off what they saw, and they go with a call in the field. But Jamie Sevchik doesn't like it.
So now we're going to see some sparks fly here. No, the tone is picking up between Caraco and Shevchik. He was trying to use that timeout for one of his mound visits. Joe Caraco saying, hold up, you can't do that. Shevchik saying, why can't I?
Okay, so interesting turn of events right here as Caraco and Shevchik are in a little bit of a heated discussion right in front of home plate as Caraco trying to go back behind the plate, and he has now ejected the manager, Jamie Shevchik, and he's going to get his money's worth. Both base umpires are coming on in from first and third as Shevchik continues to argue, and he'll be escorted off by Jeff Merzel. So just like that, we've just gotten an ejection in a Cape League game, only the second that we have seen in our 2 years here. Saw Chad Gassman get ejected in the playoffs last year from Hyannis, and now Shevchik.
So I whipped off the headset to try to see what I could listen to and pick up. And Caraco said, if you follow me back to home plate, I'm going to toss you.
So he outlined the rules.
And Shevchik said, well, I'm going to follow you. And then immediately, without even turning around, Caraco threw him. And still, now the first base umpire, Jeff Merzel, talking to some of the assistant coaches. They're making sure that Shevchik is out of there in the dugout.
That whole Brewster dugout has been pretty chippy, pretty loud all game. We saw them applaud Trey Cruz after he caught a baseball after his couple of errors. We've seen them a couple of times shouting at the umpires, and that will do it on that whole drama. So nothing really got too heated, but an ejection is definitely something of note in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Really, really rare to see that. 0-1 to Blake Dunn as he fouls this one away. So after all of that, it's just no balls and 2 strikes to Blake Dunn.
And I think he was also upset about the call on Blake Dunn. He thought it was out of the box and should have been an out. He said, even after that conference, you still got the call wrong.
Here's the 0-2, breaking ball, chopped foul. Well, wasn't even his call, is the thing. Merzel, like we said, made the call. All 3 umpires, talked about it, so at the very least, he can blame all 3 of them, not just the home plate umpire, Caraco.
Right.
0-2 still the count to Blake Dunn. Right-handed center fielder. Here's the pitch from Alford. Goes and chases a pitch down to the dirt and swings right through it. So Blake drops to 1 for 3. Pardon me, 1 for 2. No, I'm right. 1 for 3.
1 for 3.
I can't count.
Tough day for Blake Dunn. He did single in the 4th inning, but it was just an infield single. He walked and stole a base. Last 2 at-bats has struck out, though. And in the 6th, it was looking on a close pitch. Here it was swinging. That was just a dirty pitch from Alford.
Here's Zach Deloach, who's 0 for 3. He swings at the first pitch fastball and fouls it away. Deloach had his 7-game hitting streak snapped yesterday in Game 2 of the doubleheader. And right now he's looking at another 0 for, and this is the 8th inning, so it might be his last at-bat if chalk holds. 0-1 breaking ball falls just below the knees. A ball and a strike with Alford pitching from the windup, and he's been pretty sharp. That one misses too far low. He is the pitcher on the losing side of things as of right now. Only let up the 1 run on 2 hits and got out of the jam, keeping it that way, but it was a tie game when he entered. Lefty-lefty matchup between the Hokie and the Aggie. Here's the 2-1, and that is corked into right center field. Back is Ellis. He's at the track, and that ball is skipping off the grass and up and over the wall, a ground rule double. Zach Deloach was trotting around second, trying to go to third, but it is a ground rule double as it hit just south of the 380 sign in right center.
Yeah, so 380 in right center, 375 in left center where Troy Clonch hit that home run. Means center field probably about 400.
Pretty big ballpark.
Pretty big ballpark here at Stony Brook, and that will do it for that hitless spell.
Yeah.
It was, a measly 0 for 7, and then he's back in the hit column. Not bad at all from Deloach.
Gets some help from the wind that's whipping out to right center field as that ball just kept going, and Duke Ellis ran a country mile before it finally fell in front of him. Trey Cruz swings at the first pitch fastball about belt high and fouls it straight back. Trey is 0 for 2, but his last time up, he walked and came around to score on the Claunch 3-run home run. And that was directly after the inning where he committed the 2 errors. So came back to the plate and didn't really let the mistakes get to him. 0-1 breaking ball, takes a 3/4 swing, goes well around.
Cruz worked a big walk in that 6th inning. Reached base, and then Troy Claunch homered after him to tie the game.
Troy Claunch is on deck, hoping that Cruz can get on to put 2 guys on yet again. Fastball low, blocked by Vogt to make sure that Deloach couldn't advance. 1-2 count now to Trey. Came into today batting .350. Just another great batting average on this team between guys like Cantrell, Maisel, Cruz, Deloach, all batting well above 300. 1-2 breaking ball. Great swing as he just manages to catch a piece of it.
Cruz back batting as a righty, as he came in against the righty from Texas Tech, Kurt Wilson.
Yeah, he's been jumping on around to both sides of the plate, as has Cantrell. The 1-2 yet again from Alford. Another big looping breaking ball, but it does not break. It stays about eye level, and the count evens up. 4-3 ball game in favor of the visiting Commodores. They have 4 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors. Brewster, 3 runs on 7 hits, no errors. Falmouth looking for insurance here in the 8th as darkness is really settling in. Fastball, that one is pounded into the ground over towards second. Bliss with a nice job staying with it. Knew that the ball was going to stay low and not skip. Got down there and made the play. It's a 4-3 putout. Does advance Deloach onto third, but there are 2 outs.
That's a really tough play to make with a high chopping ground ball. And he fielded it right as it skipped in the dirt. Again, he brought his glove down to the ball and met it, scooped it up. It's kind of like a scoop you'd see from a first baseman, but I think even tougher.
Yeah.
Because he had to time it up. Because if he waits for that, then Cruz might beat it out.
Yeah.
Or it might take a weird hop and then die in the dirt. I think that's a great play by Bliss.
I thought it was going to chop again, and he was going to have to go up with it, but he knew exactly where that ball was going, didn't bring the glove up too early. Would have gone under his glove and would have scored a run. Ball number 1 comes into Troy Claunch. David, I just want to comment about the weather and darkness again. The wind's picking up again, still blowing out hard to right center field. It's really dark right now.
It is dark, yeah.
We're not yet near sunset. It's still only about 7:25. Sunset a little after 8. But the clouds are not helping. Here's a ground ball right back to the mound and stabbing out the glove. Making the play is Peyton Alford. He flips it over towards first for the putout. Would have been a base hit up the middle and scored a run, but Alford stops the momentum in its tracks. Falmouth score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and they strand a runner on third base as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 4-3 in favor of the Doors.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle your empty bottles, cans, and all other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Bottom of the 8th we go at Stony Brook Field in Brewster, Massachusetts, a quickly darkening Brewster, Massachusetts. So we'll see if we play the 9th inning. But right now, no signs from the umpires. Bottom 8th about to get underway. Falmouth leading 4-3. Logan Hoffman out for his 3rd inning of work. He has been spectacular. Through 2 innings, has 4 strikeouts, including the 6th where he struck out the side, and has not allowed a hit.
Yeah, he's been great, and we did see the umpires talking in the middle of this inning. Apparently there was a lightning sighting nearby, not within the radius that they would need to call the game immediately, but with this game darkening, I don't see how they play the 9th because, Danny, we were talking about it too. You have to be able to complete the inning.
First pitch is a breaking ball that sits a little bit too high to Marcos. I always have trouble with this. Castanon?
Yeah.
Castanon, okay.
You were nailing it. That was the first time you'd flubbed up on it.
Oh, you know why? Because I have it written as an O, so Castanon, and that sounds weird. Here's a big fly ball into left field. That one is hooking foul by about a good 10 or 15 feet.
It's a foul.
It was called foul over by the third base umpire. The crowd didn't see that, and neither did Castanon, who continued to trot before he was told by Jeff Merzel, no, that was foul, and quickly the applause died down.
Well, some of the Whitecaps thought it was fair too.
Yeah, the whole bullpen started celebrating, and they're right there.
And we're staring right down that third base line, so we can see it.
Yeah,
very clearly. It landed about 3 feet into the trees.
Yeah,
to the left.
So it's 1-1 to Castanon after the affair that was that foul ball. Logan Hoffman, small righty from Colby College, lifts that left leg and comes home with a breaking ball. This is popped up towards the right side. It's called for by Zach DeLoach, and he makes the grab about midway through right field. 1 up, 1 down here in the 8th.
Now batting, the first
Hardman and Workman. This is kind of weird because you kind of have to treat this like it's your last chance.
Yeah.
Treat it like the bottom of the 9th and have that sense of urgency, which is tough to do in the middle of a game to be like all of a sudden, okay, this game's going to be short, like let's go.
I didn't see the umpires talking to any of the coaches at all, so I don't know if they mentioned it to them.
I'm wondering.
First pitch fastball is low to Tyler Hardman.
Did we have any of these last year that were called early? I don't
never
remember.
had a dark. I don't think we ever had darkness,
So
but it was definitely discussed at certain points.
I'm wondering if they can call it at the end of the inning, like if they don't even need to mention it to the coaches.
Yeah,
you
they
know
probably
what I mean?
can, but I feel like they want to give a warning. You know?
Sure.
1-0 the pitch from Hoffman is downstairs. 2-0. Tyler Hardman so far on the day, 1 for 3, singled back in the 4th. Stranded at second in that inning. Gage Workman follows him, and he was the first one to face Logan Hoffman this evening. 2-0 is a fastball well high, and it's quickly 3 balls and no strikes on 3 pitches way out of the zone.
Hoffman's issued 4 walks this year. He had 1 in his outing against Orleans during that tough 6th inning for the Falmouth bullpen. It was mainly Wroblewski and Hoffman.
3-0 fastball upstairs and inside. A 4-pitch walk delivered to Tyler Hardman, and the tying run is on first base.
Now batting, the shortstop from Arizona State, number 25.
So it'll be Gage Workman, shortstop from ASU. He's 1 for 3 as well. Had a single right after Hardman's single in the 4th. Didn't get a run home, and he didn't score a run himself. He struck out to lead off Hoffman's outing in the 6th, the first of 4 strikeouts that Hoffman has managed to get. Infield at double play depth. Moretto holding on Hardman at first, but not a big lead taken by the first baseman. Ball sits low to Gage Workman now, 5 straight pitches out of the strike zone.
Yeah, he's got to settle in quickly, as the top of the order is looming if he runs into some trouble.
Logan only had 21 walks over just short of 90 innings pitched at Colby this past year. Pickoff move over to first, nothing going on. He's a strikeout pitcher through and through. Had over 100 strikeouts in both of his years with Colby. Workman, a big lefty against the small righty Hoffman. There's a fastball in the inside corner for a strike. Changes the pace by giving him a heater. There's nothing he could do with it. (1-1) to Gage Workman. As I mentioned, batting from that left side batter's box, coming off of a sophomore year at Arizona State where he hit .330 with 42 ribbies. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. Another fastball, this time blown right by him.
Yeah, that fastball has some extra zip to it. I think he's got that sense of urgency here in the bottom of the 8th. A little bit of an extra loud sound when it hits the glove of Troy Clonch on these past couple pitches.
Settles back in with that very wide stance. From all the way at the front of the box to all the way at the back of the box is the 6'4 workman. Hoffman still hasn't agreed on a pitch with Clonch. Now he does, and he's going to go for a pickoff move. Hardman, though, just a couple of steps away from the bag, so he gets there in plenty of time.
Pinch hitter on deck for Brewster and Christian Molfetta. Another Pac-12 guy from Stanford.
Molfetta had an awesome day his last time out. Got the rest today. The 1-2. Lined into left field. This should be playable, and it is for Austin Maisel as he catches it before it could go any further. And there are 2 outs now with the runner still at first.
Some oohs and ahs here in the bleachers at Stony Brook Field.
It was really sharp off the bat.
Yeah, I mean that got to Maisel in a hurry.
Yeah. Christian Molfetta will now be the hitter. So far, only 15 at-bats on the summer. And he's not going to be able to face Logan Hoffman. Falmouth is going to go for a righty. So a righty coming into the game to face the righty Christian Molfetta in relief of Logan Hoffman. We will go to a short break during the pitching change, and we'll be right back for the rest of this bottom of the 8th.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
The Falmouth Commodores would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurant is a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit them in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth this summer and try some local flavor from the winner of the Cape Times' Best Restaurant for Takeout. The 99, always the real deal.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We offer over 400 different beverage choices on Cape Cod to quench every thirst, and more than 150 are low or no-calorie options.
Bottom of the 8th is still underway here in Brewster. It's a 4-3 game and a very important pitching change as Thomas Gerard is going to come in to pitch to face a pinch hitter, Christian Molfetta. So Brewster, they're going to their guy who they think can change the tide. They're making a change. Falmouth and Mike Landry doing the same thing, seeing who's coming on and bringing in another guy.
Yeah, Thomas Gerard, if this does go to the 9th, will likely try to come out for the 4-out save. His last time out against Kituitt, he was outstanding. He notched up the save against the Kettleers. 2 strikeouts, no walks, no hits. And this is tough for Molfetta, too, because he hasn't seen anyone on the mound, and he hasn't seen Gerard before.
Christian Molfetta is coming off of a fantastic game. 2 for 4, against YD in that 13-7 win with a couple runs scored, a home run, and 5 RBIs. He watches a strike hit the knees. Thomas Gerard, on the other hand, he's been excellent too. 2 appearances, 2.2 innings of work, 4 strikeouts against 8 batters faced. So half of his batters have struck out against him. He's been a tough nut to crack for just about everybody. 0-1 the count. Gerard from the stretch. Time is called just as he was throwing. Late time called by Molfetta. Gets it from Caraco, as that would have been a ball anyway.
That's a strategic move by Molfetta when you got a guy who's been as lights out as Gerard. Try to call time late. Do anything you can to get in his head, as now a dark, dark cloud is rolling in over the left field trees.
Yeah, this may end anytime soon, just, even for weather or darkness. Here's the 0-1. Another beautiful pitch drops in at the knees on the inside corner, and just every time he comes out, he is electric.
And now he's going to go back to that slider. He's going to try to get him swinging for the third strike and the out. Also worth mentioning, Luke Berryhill, pinch runner, is on first.
Good catch.
After Hardman got the walk, Berryhill has not tried to steal a base this year, but he has some speed.
Taking a moderate lead off of first base. The 0-2. Check swing. Yes, he did go around, says the home plate umpire, Caraco. Tag is applied by Troy Clonch. Well, Feta doesn't like the call. I don't know. Got to agree. It looked like he went around. Thomas Gerard is going to take it. Yet another strikeout for him, and that retires the side. Brewster scores no runs on no hits, no errors, and they strand a runner on base. And it's very, very dark here in Brewster, so we'll head to a break. When we come back, not sure if there will be baseball to be played. Still one more frame to go in a 4-3 Falmouth lead.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 20-plus seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for elite baseball training and college recruiting assistance. They build more varsity starters, all-state athletes, and college and professional ball players than anyone else in the country. With over 1,000 events nationwide for players in middle school and high school and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
We are back here at Brewster, and I'm not saying back to baseball or back in action because it is so dark right now. A very gray cloud just rolled in to replace the other gray clouds. This one grayer, brought everything darker. I mean, my laptop is the brightest thing I can see right now, glaring in my face. The scoreboard is super bright, really the only thing illuminating the field. I don't think that any players would be able to see a pitch coming in from Peyton Alford, the Brewster pitcher, and the umpires are all talking it over. They might be taking the teams off the field and calling this. Also looks like it might rain or apocalypse.
They just called it.
There we go. So the game is over. Darkness ends this one with Falmouth coming out on top 4-3 after only 8 innings of play, and a sudden darkness call because of just recently these clouds rolling in. David, we're going to wrap this up pretty quick because we still got some work to do. We still got to film the post-game show, and it looks like it's about to just rain locusts here in Egypt. But nonetheless, Falmouth scored 4 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors. Brewster 3 runs on 7 hits, no errors. Falmouth coming out on top. With that final run coming in the 7th inning, Tim Tawas got a double. He led off the inning. Stephen Moretto with an RBI single up the middle, scored Tawa, and that was all she wrote. As the next couple of innings, Logan Hoffman locked things down. He gets the victory. Thomas Gerard gets the save, maybe? I don't know. He only pitched 1 out in the 8th, but he locked things down, kept Brewster at bay, made sure it was a 4-3 game going into this 9th inning that has now been called. Getting the loss is Wilson. Getting the win is, not Franco Aleman, but is Logan Hoffman, as we are saying so long from Brewster. 4-3 victory for the Doors. For my broadcast partner, David Korzenowski, who has been mute. For my producer, Tony Bianco, our sideline reporter, Katie Florio, I'm Daniel LaRose saying so long from Brewster. Falmouth back in the winning ways, and we'll be getting out of this rain.